Swallowing.
Adam Curry, John C. Dvorak.
It's Sunday, August 30th, 2015. Time once again for your Gitmo Nation Media Assassination, episode 752.
This is No Agenda.
Protecting migrants all across Gitmo Nation and broadcasting live from the capital of the Drone Star State here in FEMA Region 6 in the morning, everybody. I'm Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I have a lot to complain about, I'm John C. Dvorak.
It's Crackpot and Buzzkill in the morning.
All right. Good, Grumpy John. We like Grumpy John. Or you're not grumpy?
Grumpy, not grumpy, just complaining.
I went to a spectacular event last night, John.
I went to a garden party.
No, I went to the Google self-driving car event.
Oh, an event.
Here in Austin at the Thinkery.
Yeah, they're trying to get, they would do it in Austin because they're trying to get legislation allowing the things to be let on the road.
Well, they didn't do a very good job.
No?
No, this was the stupidest thing I've ever been to. But I was happy I was there, of course, because they had free booze and snacks.
Snacks.
Yeah. So Thinkery is a pretty cool children's museum here in Austin where they can do all kinds of hands-on stuff. It's actually one of the not so lame children's museums.
Okay.
And but it's also, it has technology stuff and some high-tech stuff. So it made sense for them to do this. So head on over there and go check it out. And I'm walking around and I'm like, well, what is the point of this event? And no one could really tell me. They had the self-driving car inside or outside, right outside, kind of like a red carpet deal. And so
little bean-looking cars?
The bean was inside.
Okay.
With a video playing, kind of explaining what it does. But the ones that are currently driving around in Austin were outside. So inside there was nothing going on except for food and drink, which was nice. No one could tell me anything. I found a pass. A laminated pass just on the ground. It said staff, self-driving car, Google staff. So I put that on. And so I got to talk to some other people who were very confused that I was wearing a staff badge, yet asking them questions. But the whole thing seemed to be, you walk up on the red carpet, you stand in front of the self-driving car, they take a picture, you can tweet it out.
Oh, that's what it was.
That was the whole event.
Sure.
But I did talk to two Googlers who were actually on the self-driving car team in Austin. They're here, they live in San Francisco, but they're here for extended amount of time. And
did you get their cards?
No.
Thanks.
No, I should have. You're right. Stupid. Damn. Well, it's because I had the pass. They thought I was one of them.
It doesn't make any difference. You still exchange cards.
Yeah. But anyway, so I pressed a lot about how it was going and said, well, we're the phase one will be training people when to take over manually from the automatic mode. That's a little disappointing.
Why would they ever have to take over?
Because it's software and it's fucking dangerous. That's why.
Is it?
And then I said, well, okay, so when do you think phase one will start, which is, this where you'd be sitting in the car drives itself, but you are trained when to take over. So when do you think? I said, well, probably 2020.
Sounds right.
Yeah, phase one. Phase one.
Well, that's a major change in societal change coming up.
Yeah, well, I don't see this happening for another 10 years at least.
That'd be 2025.
Yeah. Then I just push it off to 2030 just to make it all fit. Yeah. So, anyway, it was a bust.
It was a bust.
Yeah, got a little hammered. That was fun.
It's interesting that you think Google, I don't get the impression that Google can do
customer support, customer care, PR, proper marketing. No.
Well, they're PR. They have no PR. They have an office with a bunch of people in it that answer questions by email. They don't even get out there much.
Yeah.
In fact, one of the problems they have, or I guess they see it as a benefit, is that they do stuff and then they never account for it because they won't answer questions.
Right.
And so that kind of lack of communications with the public would also mean dull events.
But there was no one spoke. There was no, stand-up thing like we're so happy to be. None of that. Just a bunch of people with a band who had the toughest gig ever because no one's paying attention. You know, the band, I hate to be that band. They're playing some kind of crazy banjo country music. I can just see the meeting at Google headquarters in San Francisco. It's Texas. Let's get a banjo. Yeah, thanks, morons. It really, that's the way it came across. It was fun.
Bands with a banjo.
Yeah.
Fine. For those dumb hicks in Texas.
Texas, right? Stupid hicks.
Should we have some sponsored Polydent? Maybe get Polydent.
Polydent. So I paid a lot of attention to Euroland over the past couple of days. Oh, by the way, I'm back in the condo, downtown Austin. So I think we had a reasonably successful test of the Airstream. That meaning that I'm able to keep it cool enough in 95-degree heat without the air conditioner on. We did encounter a glitch. A glitch, yeah. So two things happened. We had a couple of dropouts, and what happens on the stream when my stream to the streaming server drops, it picks up with some jingles and some elevator music or whatever it is. But that's even if there's just a small glitch in the stream. And we had a lot of problems with, here's what I learned. The iPhone 6, which I was using for a hotspot and for routing, when it gets too warm, but not warm enough for it to display that, that message on the front that says your iPhone is too hot and, you have to let it cool down, it just stops routing. And I've tried for hours later testing stuff, and I finally wound up putting it under the air conditioner, and then it worked for hours and hours. It was perfect. So it's reproducible, which means when we do this on the road during the I Love Laundry tour, I'll probably have to have a bucket of ice or something.
Can't you use a different device?
Yeah, I've ordered the Verizon MiFi. And I immediately got a message. Oh, please call the accounts department because we have a problem with your credit history. It never ends. It just never fucking ends with this bull crap.
It's a phone company.
Yeah,
This is your future, ladies and gentlemen.
One of the richest there is. I know, it's crazy. So a lot of people are like, what happened? This is
you either pay your bill or you don't.
Yeah, well, there you go.
What has it got to do with credit?
They don't trust me.
You get a bill, you pay it, or you don't pay it. Mm-hmm. What's it got to do with your credit history?
I'm just saying.
I'm asking you.
I don't know. Nothing. And what we're talking about $60 a month. Woo! I'm so untrustworthy for that $60.
Well, and even if you didn't pay it 1 month, they just cut your service off. That can happen to anybody.
Yeah, send the brown shirts over, rough me up. Then you get your money. Then it's all good. But it was interesting. Oh, anyway, so then my recordings were corrupted. I don't know how that happened. And M4A, when they're corrupted, it's very difficult to retrieve, which is what I mastered to. Maybe I should not do that. Maybe I should do lossless or something. Anyway, yeah, probably should. So one of these glitches was still in the show because I had to take the stream recording. And we have the backup recorder, but the show was so long that I had missed the end. And Martin JJ luckily had recorded the stream. But there was no way for me to see in the 3 hours that we recorded, which, 245 or 246 was actual programming. I couldn't find all the times that it dropped out because you look at the waveform and, you don't notice a silence. It's all, it's all one continuous waveform because the stream picks up with its own jingles and stuff. So one was left in, and people were, whoa, what's going on? Oh, man, it's a glitch. Whoa, what's happening? Speaking of...
Emma Clayton and her 3 children were looking forward to this bank holiday weekend. They'd planned to splash out on a final summer excursion to Scotland, but her husband's employer was one of the businesses hit by a banking glitch.
I got 99 glitches. It's just a glitch. And put a goatsy on there, will you?
Glitch.
This report about HSBC, which is Comey's former bank, the FBI director Comey, who was on the board of directors. So they had a glitch. And I have this report, which of course is not only irritating because it's about a glitch, but it really shows you what centralized technology is going to be like when it's all our whole lives surrounded. What we would call it the cloud. The cloud is so fabulous.
And HSBC hasn't paid out his salary. It's understood the problem lay with the bank's ability to feed the electronic BACS system.
Now, this is serious, the BACS system. This is this
BACS system.
Yeah, BACK. This is the central settlement system that runs overnight these huge mainframe batch processes. And it may not be running on mainframe anymore. That's why it's so glitchy. But it completely failed.
The correct information. The BACS system is used for direct debits to make payments and process digital financial transactions worth up to £50 billion a day. Around 71% of household bills are thought to be paid by the direct debit system.
Now, this is in the UK, the way banking works is you have this direct debit system. You just give them your details, and it's. Do we have that in the States as well, where you just give someone permission to take money out of your bank account? Do we
give who permission?
A vendor.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, direct payment, some kind of scam.
Okay. Exactly.
On top of this,
it's electronic money. That's the point.
80% of adults in the UK have at least one direct debit in their name. BACS, the organisation behind direct debit, processed a record 103 million payments in a single day in July. Yet computer glitches have plagued several other high street banks and caused their customers serious concern. NatWest launched an investigation in June after a technical glitch led account payments to go missing. And RBS has been fined millions of pounds and faced problems processing wages, tax credits, and disability allowances. The bank issued this statement. HSBC apologizes for the significant inconvenience caused.
Sorry.
We are now processing the payments so that they reach the beneficiary accounts as quickly as possible.
You know, when you have a centralized system like the BACS system, and it breaks, and people literally cannot access their digits because it's not money, just their digital money, it's not appropriate to call it a glitch anymore. You need to tell us what happened. You need to investigate mainstream and get down to the bottom of it. This is going to be your life.
So BACS Systems, this company is worldwide.
Yes, it's big.
Yet if you try to look them up on Wikipedia, there's nothing to find.
Really?
Well, I'm looking and looking. I could be wrong.
Huh. That's strange.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Here we go. BACS system. BACS, BACKS. I'm sure they were upgrading something or some bull crap like that. Huh. Funny you say that. I can't find it either now. Well, that would be even more reason for the mainstream to look into it. Anyway, but it's just another glitch story, which I hate. I hate them.
All these things flying around. This is going to happen. In fact, I have a clip that is very disturbing.
One of the few. You have a clip.
I actually am trying to get down to 6 clips.
Great. The show will be short.
Record of clips, and I used to do a whole show on 6 clips.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Did you have any more in the bank?
No.
Because if we're going to talk about centralized computing, I want to mention this.
Let's do it.
So I had... I was listening to Blogo.
What's Blogo?
Is Blogo on here? Where's my clips?
I don't see Blogo.
This is going to ruin my day if it's not on here.
Baby, I don't see Blogo.
I'm going to have to go get Blogo and put him on and push this off to later in the show.
Would it have been an older clip that you already gave me?
Yeah, it's from actually.
I have it. Blogo's brother. I got it.
Yeah.
Okay, I got
it. Now I'm going to set this up.
Wait a minute. Just give me some props.
Fantastic.
There you go. Onward.
You remember Blogo, the guy who was that was in Illinois, and the Bushes, not the Clintons, the Obamas, set him up. So
Blagojevich.
Yeah, Blagojevich.
Oh, yeah, of course. Blago. Yeah, I got you.
Well, Blago had a brother, and the brother, they tried to set him
and
up.
And Blago was his name, oh.
Blaggo.
Blango. Okay,
Anyway.
playtime's over.
So Blago's brother gave a nice, very interesting speech about government corruption on C-SPAN, and he just dropped his little bomb in here, and I realized, and that's what I put in the newsletter, I said that, we haven't really, the OPM breach has been kind of shoved under the rug because of the Ashley Madison breach, which kind of like took it over as a topic.
As a story, yes.
We can't talk about more than one breach at a time.
Glitch.
But then when he gave this little thing, it just dawned on me what an absolute country ruining event this must have been if you listen to the little, just a couple of little things I never even thought about.
About surveillance of the OPM hack, the worst national security nightmare with more than 20 million files, including my own. I filed SF-86 in the old days when I was in the government. I had 3 full field background investigations done on me. They were all in the files of the FBI, as is the background on all of our nuclear scientists who work at Lawrence Livermore, as is everyone in the Witness Protection Program, as is every FBI and CIA agent. They're all in the OPM files, which have been hacked.
Dang, the Witness Protection Program. Oh, boy.
The Witness Protection Program. Now, people moan, the government, Snowden, he's such a bad guy. Meanwhile, they have just breached all the CIA agents that are in these files.
Man, oh, man.
Isn't this like a big deal?
Yes.
It's like the most protected thing. Oh, God, we can't let anyone know who's working for the CIA because it'd be half of the...
Well, I'll tell you who works for the CIA. Joe Biden's kid, Hunter. He must be working for the agency because he's now on deck to obfuscate the OPM hack because his email address showed up in the Ashley Madison database. Now, this is the Koch guy, right? The Koch Biden kid?
I don't know. I don't know which the Koch kid is.
Well, the other one's dead. Yeah, but I think
one of them died, unfortunately.
Yeah, this is the Koch kid, and he's saying, "Oh no, Russian agents did this. They used my name."
Yeah, sure. Right. That makes sense.
So he's all over the news with no.
It's all obfuscates. If they have the Witness Protection Program details, this is worth millions to the mob.
Maybe more.
Billions.
Yeah.
If they have all the CIA agents, which also means they would have the DIA agents and the State Department's little intelligence group, they would have everybody. This is beyond ridiculous.
Well,
Well, I did mention that this needs to be discussed more, and I got a bunch of email from people saying I was in that database and I've been screwed, and people that the credit card information doesn't mean anything, but there's all kind of he's got some strange things going on around his life.
Yeah,
want to discuss in too much details, but this is an outrageous catastrophe.
It really is. I didn't know about the Witness Protection Program. This is a huge problem.
Yeah.
And let's see, how many people have been fired?
Not correctable. Yeah, how many people have been fired? Oh, well, let me...
Yeah, exactly.
I have a list.
It's a very short... It's on a grain of rice you wrote this list.
A black blank piece of paper.
Yeah, that is... Man, no one's talking about that.
No, they stopped. I was looking at the timeline. There was a lot of information when it first happened, and then all of a sudden, in August, after about a month of people going back and forth and trying to have hearings, the Ashley Madison thing broke, and there's been nothing since.
And I read, was it John McAfee? Yeah. He has a whole theory this was an inside job by one woman.
The OPM hack?
Yeah. Oh, no, the Ashley Madison hack. I'm sorry.
Oh, that could be.
Yeah.
By one woman.
Well, but that would make a lot of sense if it wasn't because the so-called impact team, which to me sounds like a CIA cover name. I mean, who else comes up with that? The impact team. What was I saying? I completely lost my train of thought.
You're to John McAfee. One woman, impact.
Right. So if they did want to obfuscate the OPM hack, then having one operative inside the company, then who gives a crap about this company? But it got everybody worried. Everybody's distracted because every politician is like, "Oh crap, is my name in it?" Whether they put it in there or not.
Right.
So that
meanwhile, the Witness Protection Program is busted.
That's unbelievable.
Everybody who's ever worked for the CIA
batten down the hatches.
Yeah.
Well,
especially since 2000.
I do take pleasure in that one distant cousin of mine. As you recall, we were up at Mead Road at Uncle Don's house.
The one who wouldn't talk to you because you didn't have the right clearance?
Yeah.
I knew that got to you.
Hey, kid, how you feel now with all your clearance? We know all about your sexual adventures. That stuff is on the form. All of that stuff. That FS86, I think is what it's called. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's horrible. Yeah. This is like a big. This is your perfect blackmail database. I believe it was they say blame it on the Chinese. That's if it was the Chinese, we've got serious problems. Yeah. But I think it could be the Russians. It could be anybody. It could be a renegade group who's going to sell the data. First, you got to organize the data, which shouldn't take too long. I mean, you need an Oracle database. Mm-hmm. You think that maybe. The spooks inside Oracle could keep tabs on who's running big numbers.
Well, it wasn't. It was not a hack. It was a stolen credentials. So,
right.
The easiest hack of all.
Right, and then they just started draining the system.
Yep, suck it all out.
This is going to happen to everybody's medical records too.
Oh yeah,
at some point. They've
the reliance on technology because your iPhone just kind of works, which it doesn't. It crashes. These things crash too, is insane. Then everybody's all in. Okay.
No, they're all in. The medical database, my doctor's little doctor's operation nearby, they're forced by the government.
Yep. Otherwise, you don't get paid by Medicaid.
Yeah, you won't get paid unless you electronic everything you do. So all the records have to be on a little laptop. And you can just see this isn't good. This is going to be bad. Now, the only other possibility, which is always my theory about a lot of this stuff, is all this data is actually pretty safe because it's in the hands of Progressive Insurance Company.
And they're just going to use it.
Did you know that she worked for the CIA? She's got to pay a lot more for her health insurance then.
Exactly.
I mean, that would be the only good thing that could come out of this, but this is just, to me, a disaster.
Well, if that were a clip, I'd give you clip of the day. Good find. Very good find. Well, actually, it was a clip.
It was a clip.
Well, your explanation wasn't a clip.
Well, the clip was in there. You jumped to it when the guy said witness protection.
No.
Jeez.
I think you get it right off the bat. It's early, though.
Clip of the day.
You deserve
Blago.
It. Yeah, Blago. And I take a little bit of the clip of the day for actually having the clip.
Yeah, okay, fine.
So, something else not discussed, really. About 4 or 5 days ago, we had a fantastic report after the 2 South Korean soldiers got their legs blowed off, and they threw up the giant voice system and are yelling at them, which is the appropriate response when someone blows your legs off. Just go, "Hey, you guys suck! You suck!" North and South Korea, here's the report.
After marathon talks, an apology has ended the crisis between North and South Korea. Kim Kwan-jin, South Korea's chief presidential national security advisor, read the joint statement in Seoul. Last month, 2 South Korean soldiers were injured by landmines along the demilitarized zone. In response, Seoul resumed anti-North Korean propaganda broadcasts, which led to an exchange of artillery fire.
North Korea expressed regret over a recent landmine incident in the south side of the demilitarized zone along the military demarcation line that wounded the South soldiers. South Korea agreed to halt anti-Pyongyang propaganda broadcasts along the MDL from 12 o'clock local time on August 25th. North Korea agreed to end the quasi-state of war.
The statement also said the 2 Koreas would hold follow-up talks in Seoul or Pyongyang to discuss ways to improve ties.
So that was 5 days ago, and this, of course, is a big-ass problem. Because
this is almost the same exact clip I played 4 days ago on the last show.
Right.
So, by the way, I want people to go back and rewind a little bit.
I have a follow-up clip, but go ahead.
On this particular, the introduction to this clip that you did just now, it sounded as if you were talking and then went into a voice.
Oh, really?
It was so seamless. It took me I had to hear this guy for maybe 5 or 6 words. I said, wait a minute, that's not Adam doing a voice.
Huh.
Yeah, it was really, whoa.
Let me hear that again.
Anyone out there who heard that, everyone heard that. It was extremely creepy.
My name is Adam Curry, and here's the North Korean.
After marathon talks...
No, I don't think it sounds like me at all.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It sounds, when you listening to it, it sounds, I'm telling you, it's seamless.
Okay. But let me move on with the story.
Okay, go on. Sorry, I got distracted.
So having North and South Korea making up is, of course, entirely against the mission of the military-industrial complex. As you'll recall from my discussion with Uncle Don, he even himself said, oh, yeah, we need to make all kinds of noise coming out of North Korea because we're selling $2 billion worth of crap to the South Koreans. So this is 6 days ago or 5 days ago. What do? What does the United States of Gitmo Nation America do after this? I mean, we have a peace accord. People are shaking hands across the table.
Oh, no.
We'll have none of that.
Targets on a mountainside lit up in precise, spectacular fashion. An E-737 Peace Eye surveillance plane flies overhead. It can detect North Korean troop movements from across the border. South Korean F-16 fighter jets fire their ordnance, and more targets are destroyed. Syrian helicopters fire flares to evade surface-to-air missiles, then rope drop commandos to the ground. These joint U.S.-South Korean exercises are taking place just 18 miles from the demilitarized zone. They're designed to reassure South Koreans, but there's a swagger on display here as well.
You should have seen the video for this. They're blowing up things in the air in V formation, like a firework display. The big targets on the ground. They got tanks just blowing shit up.
South Korean forces showing confidence after they responded to the North's recent provocation with disproportionate firepower and forced Kim Jong-un's regime to the bargaining table.
Showing this sort of...
Oh, see, now they say that this is why they were forced to the bargaining table, which is just not true. It's just not true. The North Koreans said, hey, man, we're sorry about that. We didn't mean to blow up your guys' legs. We're sorry. Let's fix this. And then now we're going to show them a-holes with our exercise.
It's a very spectacular military exercise.
Spectacular!
I think ultimately it's not helping the situation. It could drive the North Koreans to react again.
Yeah, no shit.
And this could lead to another dangerous situation as we just seen.
Yeah.
Across the border, Kim's claiming victory in the standoff, but also exacting punishment. His news agency saying he's, quote, dismissed members of his Central Military Commission.
Oh, let's speculate what that means.
What could dismissed mean in this case?
Well, in this case, these individuals, they could have been executed.
Fed to the dogs like everybody else.
They could have been sent to the countryside.
Sent to the gulag. What?
Flamethrowers are my favorite.
Flamethrower.
They could have been demoted.
Analysts say those
they could have been demoted, sure.
dismissed are likely senior generals taking the fall.
Given the timing of their dismissal, it is almost certainly related, I would say, to their performance over the most recent crisis. So clearly, Kim Jong-un is not happy with what they've done.
Analysts say Kim could have been monitoring his generals' performances in the crisis.
He's a crazy kid, I tell you.
Almost in real time. Top generals in North Korea, they say, are more heavily surveilled than any other officials there.
Oh, right.
They're wiretapped, always watched. If you're a senior general in North Korea...
Yeah, unlike us here in America, we're never wiretapped or watched.
Yeah, who's got eyes on you?
But the people around you, are they reporting on you?
Oh.
Are they telling others who are reporting to Kim Jong-un that you're not paying attention, you're not in sync with his vision?
So there you go. We have a peace agreement starting, hands across the table, everybody's great, and what do? Hello, everybody! Hello, North Korea!
Bomb them. We need to kill and bomb them. Bomb them. We need to kill and bomb them. Bomb them. We need to bomb them. We need to kill them and bomb them again.
Hell yeah. Pathetic. It really is.
Hey, don't want to lose any sales on this deal.
No way. We're not going to lose any sales. Something came out this morning. It's from our LGBTQIAAP department. The University of Tennessee, Knoxville, has come out with a guide, and I believe we should be following this guide, John.
Okay.
This is from Donna Barquette, the director of the Pride Center at the University of Tennessee. And she wrote a blog post here, or it's an actual section on their website. With a new semester beginning and an influx of new students on campus, it is important to participate in making our campus welcoming and inclusive for all. One way to do that is to use a student's chosen name and their correct pronouns. We should not assume someone's gender by their appearance. Hey, what you packing there? nor by what is listed on a roster or in the student information systems. Transgender people and people who do not identify with the gender binary may use, gender binary, write that one down.
Yeah, there's the show title right there.
May use a different name than their legal name and pronouns of their gender identity rather than the pronouns of the sex they were assigned at birth. Who assigns that? God? How is that done? Who assigns? If you're assigned a gender, does that mean God does that?
The World Health Organization.
Hey, that kid, that one's female. Introductions. In the first weeks of classes, instead of calling roll, please ask everyone to provide their name and their pronouns.
Oh, brother.
This ensures you are not singling out transgender or non-binary students. I'm non-binary today. The name a student uses may not be the one on the official roster, and the roster name may not be the same gender as the one the student uses now. This practice works outside of the classroom as well. You can start meetings with requesting introductions that include names and pronouns.
Where are you reading this from again?
From the University of Tennessee, Knoxville website.
What is wrong with these people?
Well, let's get down to the meat and potatoes. Introduce yourself with your name and your chosen pronouns, or when providing name tags, ask attendees to write in their name and pronouns. Now, they have a little box here, a little orange box. With actually, I'm going to put this on the Skype for you because I want you to see this. This is because we have to do this one together.
You only do this because you know it's going to irritate me.
Well, what else am I doing the show for?
That's true.
Okay. This is on your Skype there.
There it is.
So here's the little box. So we have the gender binary, which is she, her, hers.
A slow clap. G.
Wait. Hold on. You're jumping the gun. Let's go back. Gender binary. We have the subject is she, the object is her, the pronoun is hers, and the pronunciation as it looks. So she, her, hers. He, him, his. Then gender neutral, which is what you should be using, is Z.
No. The real gender neutral is the ones that writers have been using for years.
Z.
No, they.
Oh, they, them, their. Right. But it seems to me that's used as singular, according to the asterisks.
Yes, that's the way you would do it. You would. This is the way most writing has been going over. This has been for 20 years or more longer, which is the. It's because you get tired of saying he when you're a computer user. Then he did this, he did that, he did this, he did that, which is the way it used to be. And then you'd have some bonehead come in and change all the he's to she, and it sounded idiotic. And so you do everything as a. It's singular, but it's actually written in a grammatically correct
right.
way. Anyway, just a long little thing to look for.
So the correct gender neutral way to address someone with their pronouns is Z, here, here's, or Z, zir, zirs, and Z, zem, and zir. Hey, zem guys over there.
With an X.
Zem guys over there. What are they doing? Z's got a big package. So I just say, hi.
What are they talking about? I've never seen this before. This is complete. Somebody made this up.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah, they made it up. They put it in. They got it. Somehow got traction, and now they're laughing at each other.
My name is Adam Curry. You may address me as Z. Hi, my name's Adam. It's my badge. Z.
What does it mean? What is Z? Oh, it's just because you're gender neutral.
I'm gender neutral. Yeah.
Z. Well, what's I want to ask you then. I'm going to ask you a question.
All right.
Since you've been reading this, studying it. What's the difference between Z and Z with an X?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand it.
And what's the difference between here, H-I-R?
Well, here it is.
And zero with an X.
Here it is.
Zem.
Hold on. Gender neutral pronouns. We are familiar with the singular pronouns, she, her, hers, and he, him, his. But those are not the only singular pronouns. In fact, there are dozens of gender neutral pronouns. Dozens, I tell you.
Dozens?
A few of the most common singular gender neutral pronouns are they, them, their, or Z, here, here's, and Z, zem, zir. XYR, that's my favorite. Zir. Adam Curry, zir.
Zir.
These may sound a bit funny at first, but only because they are new. The she and he pronouns would sound strange too if they had been taught Z when growing up.
Hey, Where'd they come from?
I don't know.
Who dreamed them up? I want to know.
You should look it up. How do you know what pronoun someone uses? Well, if you cannot use the methods mentioned above, you can always politely ask, "Oh, nice to meet you. Insert name. What pronoun should I use?" It is a perfectly fine question to ask. I'm going to try this everywhere I go.
If somebody insists that you use it.
I can't wait. We have an Obama bot dinner Monday night. I was like, "Hi, I'm Adam Curry. Which pronoun should I use for you?" Because, you don't look like a dude. I should add that. You don't really look like a dude. Should I use the pronoun?
You're wearing makeup. You got long hair. You're really pretty in a normal sense. You got a dress on. What do you want me to call you?
Yeah, Z.
Z? Okay, you're in.
It's outrageous.
I'm telling you, this is a joke.
I don't think so.
This is somebody at the University of Tennessee hacked the system.
Let me see. It's written by Donna Barquette.
Diversity.utk.edu.
Yeah.
Let's see what that homepage looks like.
Okay. The office.
And this is in Tennessee, people.
Yeah. Be a student
Even in Berkeley, I've never heard of such a thing.
This is great. Inclusive.
Here we go. Now we have a picture of a bunch of diverse people.
Very diverse. They all look like Z's to me.
No.
Zirs. Z-Y-R. Zir.
It's committed to creating a vibrant, multi-ethnic community where diverse students, faculty, and staff are recruited and retained, and where diversity scholarship is the one that should tell us where these words came from.
Well, let me see. The Pride Center. I don't know. Events.
I want the etymology of these words.
Okay. Well, someone will send it to us. In the meantime, please use my pronoun Z.
Okay, Z.
Okay, Z. I'm Z. In the morning, I'm Z. And then you say...
Morning, you're, what?
And then you say...
in the morning.
I'm Z.
Asshole.
Oh, man. Oh, fantastic. I really got a chuckle out of that. Really got a chuckle out of that.
It's definitely up there.
We have gone crazy. Well, staying with the Schule, the first results are in from Common Core. And as you know, Common Core, the main driver behind Common Core, the Common Core state standards, is that every state would have an equal measurement system to measure how their students are doing. And Associated Press reports today results for some of the states that participated in Common Core aligned testing for the first time this spring are out, with overall scores higher than expected, because, of course, the test was lower, though still below what many parents may be accustomed to seeing. Now, even when all the results are available, it will not be possible to compare student performance across a majority of states, which was one of Common Core's fundamental goals. What began as an effort to increase transparency, allow parents and school leaders to assess performance nationwide, has largely unraveled, chiefly because states are dropping out of the two testing groups and creating their own exams. So the main driver of this, to have a common standard across all states, it's failed. And they don't think that they can ever get it back together again. So this thing should be just eliminated. Eliminated.
I think that, yes, but what are you going to do now?
I don't know. They'll go back to the states, old ways of states will figure it out. Yeah, states will figure it out. The states can do that, I believe.
That's what they're supposed to do.
There was a big event with a bunch of black pastors and a bishop and a whole bunch of dudes at the Smithsonian Institute. And this is catching storm. I really like this. Obviously, it's a setup, but that's okay. And for another obvious reason, it didn't get any traction in the mainstream as far as I could tell. This is about Margaret Sanger, who is the founder of Planned Parenthood. But originally, of course, I'm sorry?
As someone who's studying the networks, I can assure you this got no traction. I have not heard of this.
No traction. This is why it's you're on your No Agenda show. We play the non-traction. But it was a real event with a bunch of these guys hanging around outside the Smithsonian, and they said, this Margaret Sanger, she started the Eugenics Society of America, and this Planned Parenthood thing is just an outgrowth of eugenics, which means that they really want to kill black people, black Americans specifically.
Why in the world are we honoring her? So, yes,
There's a bust of Margaret Sanger in the Smithsonian, I should add.
we should not only take her bust out of the museum, we should defund Planned Parenthood, not spend a dime of tax dollars on Planned Parenthood.
This is a bishop. A bishop.
The woman was a racist. She was a genocidal figure in America and in human history. And to honor her is to be complicit in her evil and her racism. That's right. If you are honoring Margaret Sanger, you are joining together with her in her racist ideology. Woohoo! So she may have never used the term that is Margaret Sanger, but she was clearly a white supremacist. Woohoo! That term is used today as a political weapon, often without any facts to back it up. We've got facts to back up that Margaret Sanger was a white supremacist.
Hell yeah! Now, we've only been saying this on our show for, 5 years? Maybe six?
Because it's not just us, but each one of us represent a number of people across this nation. And if you really want to bring this nation together again, putting that mess up there like that is not going to help. Last thing we need is a white supremacist sitting between the bust of Martin Luther King and Rosa Parks. That's just a slap in the face to black folks, and I hope the curator can understand that.
Yeah, the curator don't give a shit what you're saying, man.
This is great.
And then finally, Reverend Dean Nelson.
We cannot condemn a shooter in Charleston and celebrate Margaret Sanger. We cannot condemn police officers in Ferguson and celebrate Margaret Sanger. Our nation needs to come to grips with the reality that the woman whose bust is in this facility was not a champion of women's rights, nor a champion for the cause of the broken and the downtrodden.
There's no real conflict.
There you go. Very good. Rev, Bish, all you guys, good work. No one cared, but good work. At least you're doing it.
I would say that this is dirty, political dirty tricks, and it's extremely well done.
Oh, it's definitely it's
Hillary Clinton to accept Margaret Sanger Award.
What, is she going to accept the note? You're kidding me.
She already got it.
No. Do you have this?
Maybe she's going to accept it. Here it is. Let's see.
Oh, man. Perfect. Yay!
No, when you see good dirty tricks, you have to really go, wow, who did it? Okay, she got it in 2010.
Okay, she already received it then.
But she's got it, and she was proud of it. Yep. She made a big deal when she got it.
Well, the war against Hillary is definitely on. I could not believe ABC. ABC is...
Well, as I have pointed out...
You're doing your 3x3.
ABC is out to get Hillary. I do have 2 clips on top of yours.
Okay, here's mine.
Now, emails obtained by ABC News through a public records request.
Is it the same clip?
Well, yeah, but I was going to use it as the second clip. It's more of a punchline.
All right, then do your sequence. Screw it.
So let's start with, this was last Thursday's news. This is the ABC going after Clinton and Trump. And now, before you play it, you have to, we talked about this when they did the debates.
Yes.
Where they had the big
Republicans.
F next to the Republican as he spoke.
Yes.
This was one of the more interesting ones because you've heard about this survey and this was a big survey about it. What's the first word that comes to mind when you think of Hillary Clinton?
Yes, I saw this. The word cloud.
On ABC, they did 3 people and they put the names up. And they discussed some of it when this report, but you can't visually see it. When you visually see it, there's a picture of Hillary and then all the words in one of those like
word cloud.
Yeah, word cloud is like a heat map where the most important word is the biggest word and they shrink in size. Yeah. And hers is liar or something like
unreliable.
It had all those words, and then they showed
lesbian. There was no lesbian on that. I don't get it. They didn't talk to me.
And they had Trump, and then they showed blow hard with the big word. And then when the third one was Bush. Downplayed the Bush one by saying the word that comes to mind is Bush, because it is
just Bush.
But which is actually good branding.
Yeah, it's great branding.
And they kept it on for just a split second, but the other words on there were like trustworthy, faithful, honest. They had all these words, and it was just like, bang, it just flashed on the screen. So they're doing a little subliminal action.
A little?
A little. They're doing a little subliminal action, but their target is clearly Hillary. Bush is obviously their guy they're going to go to.
women's health and women's health issues better than anybody, and far better than Hillary Clinton, who doesn't have a clue.
Today, a new poll showing voters have some choice words of their own to describe the candidates. Ask the first word that comes to mind about Clinton. People say liar, dishonest, untrustworthy.
Lesbian.
For Trump, it's arrogant, blowhard, idiot. And the number one word that comes to mind for Bush? Bush.
You have to do an inspection here. This is getting crazy.
But maybe the word of the day? Bizarre. Trump on the trail in South Carolina inviting a supporter on stage to touch his hair to prove once and for all that it is indeed real.
Yes, I believe it is.
Thank you.
Okay, there's a couple of things here. First of all, they intro the clip by using a little slam against Hillary that Trump said, and they cut it off.
Yeah.
Then they decide they're going to also make sure that they're not supporting Trump. He's out, too, as far as they're concerned. That thing about the hair, every network played it.
Yes, of course.
The woman comes up, and she looks at his hair, and she says, yeah, it looks real to me.
Trump is a brilliant man.
The full clip, which I've only seen once, consists of Trump. He's up there doing one of his ad-lib speeches, and he's reading from the New York Times.
Yes.
And he says in the New York Times, they said, here's the New York Times. They say, the man with the wig.
Yeah. Toupee.
The man with the toupee.
And it was a Spanish journalist.
Right. Then he goes into, I haven't got a toupee. And then he has somebody come up to confirm that, which is a little different, I think, than just out of the blue, which is what they made it look like. He's just so nuts that out of the blue, he'd have somebody come and check his hair.
No, it was set up. It was a good setup.
Yeah, so you're out to get him. So we go from that, and then the next day, which is the Friday report on ABC.
Mm-hmm.
Every show I'm now picking up on what's the anti-Hillary.
And this is still the 3x3. 3 weeks, 3 networks.
3 weeks, 3 networks.
3 networks. Very good.
And,
public service.
So I am looking at ABC did this story. You spotted it too. This is a clip that none of the other networks touched. Nobody touched this. This was not on Democracy Now! This was not on NBC. This was not on CBS.
It was only on ABC, who are all in. Many of the ABC News staffers are married to people in the White House with high positions.
Now to the race for 2016. Hillary
Clinton. Back it off for a second. Let me just add one more thing. I should mention from the last clip, you have to remember that George Bush, who they're promoting, was governor of Florida, where Disney World is, and they got lots of breaks from the governor's office. There's a go back and forth.
Yes, of course. ABC, Disney owned. Yes, makes a lot of sense. Yeah, of course.
Now to the race for 2016. Hillary Clinton facing a new firestorm tonight over her husband's emails, showing Bill Clinton asked for the green light to give speeches with ties to some of the most brutal regimes in the world for big bucks, all while his wife was Secretary of State. ABC Chief White House correspondent John Carl broke this story, and he's back on the case tonight.
With its vast army, nuclear weapons, and the world's most notorious dictator, North Korea would seem an unlikely place for a former president to make a buck. But emails obtained by ABC News show Bill Clinton tried to get approval to give a North Korea speech while Hillary was Secretary of State. Oops. The request coming from one of his top aides to Mrs. Clinton's Chief of Staff, Cheryl Mills. Mills' terse reply, decline it. But the former president's aide asked for an explanation. Mills wrote back to tell Bill Clinton, if he needs more, let him know his wife knows, and I'm happy to call him. The emails came to light because of a lawsuit by the conservative group Citizens United. Today, Mrs. Clinton acknowledged her husband asked for approval to give this speech and many others.
There were some unusual requests, but they all went through the process to try to make sure that the State Department conducted its independent review.
Another unusual request, a speech for $650,000 in the Congo, attended by two of Africa's most notorious dictators. Clinton's own speaking agency recommended declining the invite, noting, quote, the prevalence and intensity of sexual violence against women in Eastern Congo is widely described as the worst in the world.
Excellent.
But Mr. Clinton did not want to take no for an answer. His aide asking if he could do the speech if all the money went to the Clinton Foundation instead of to Clinton directly.
Neither of those speeches happened because ultimately the State Department didn't approve either of them. But all told,
told Bill Clinton made over $48 million giving speeches while Hillary was Secretary of State. Tom?
These people are evil.
Can you imagine 48 million? That's all bribes.
Yeah. Yeah, of course it is.
It's just bribes. You don't get paid $650,000 to give a speech in the Congo. What? How is that anything but a bribe? And nobody covered this story but ABC.
Yep.
And, of course, the great Democracy Now! Wouldn't cover it. They had too many other things to discuss. Yeah. And once Citizens United has anything to do with, we can't do anything. We can't do anything.
It's Republicans. Yeah, we can't do that. Someone just sent me a clip from the chat room with Mika Brzezinski fondling Donald Trump's hair on air.
Maverick. Become a little bit more restrained in my
gutsy Maverick.
Okay.
Look, it goes in for another flyby.
That's not a good clip. No audio. But she's there. She's pulling his hair up. He is fantastic.
Yeah.
That guy, I love that guy. He just tickles me. Well, hold on a second. So there are a couple of things we need to talk about here.
He could be the guy behind the dirty tricks for that Sanger thing.
Definitely a Republican move.
Absolutely. There's no doubt about it.
So let's just stay with the Clintons. I already said, I identified this. I said the new meme is Donald Trump is Hitler. And we picked up on this on Thursday. And it's just continuing. Let's start with Hillary.
I find it the height of irony that a party which espouses small government would want to unleash a massive law enforcement effort, including perhaps National Guard and others.
This is about Trump's idea to get rid of all the illegal aliens.
To go and literally pull people out of their homes and their workplaces, round them up, put them, I don't know, in buses, boxcars, in order to take them across our border. I just find that not only absurd, but appalling.
Boxcars, like the Jews.
Said any of this, by the way. She is just lying.
Like the Jews.
She's just lying.
It's great, though. She put boxcars, like the Jews. The Jews.
Yeah, of course, that's what the association was so obvious. She's not very good at this.
Now, I have a longer clip. Then I pulled Go ahead.
I was going to say, the worst part is that she'll get called out and ridiculed for lying like that.
It's minimal.
Well, you don't know.
Minimal. Now, this is Bill Maher. Now, one of our producers sent me this whole episode, and I was, because I don't always watch it, but I was appalled from beginning to end. I have some clips later on from this same episode.
It's an appalling show.
Now, on this show was...
I kid.
Now, on the show was a reporter from the Washington Post, a real a-hole, knows better than everybody, knows everything better than anybody. There was Dana Rohrabacher, which is a Republican, and Wendy Davis, who looked pretty smoking hot, I want to add. I wasn't a big fan of her hair, but her new hairdo, which is kind of those, where it goes like, it's almost like one of those speed skater helmets where it's a little bigger and it sticks out in the back. Have you noticed this? This is kind of a new trend in long blonde hair. So you have the curly cues down to the side, and then the back is poofed out. So, it looks like you have a tumor at the back of your head, but it looks good. I have to say, a tumor, yeah. And Bill Maher is going to espouse his opinions about Donald Trump. Of course, Bill Maher hates Trump, and he will help us out with propagating the new formula, which is an agreed-to talking point.
But it's so interesting that, Europe has a really nasty immigration problem that can be violent. We have just friendly people south of our border who want to come here and exploit us by picking our fruit. And the racist...
Which is racist right there.
Oh, yeah. Totally
racist. It's racist. But, hey, Mexicans, all you're good for is for picking our fruit.
Out of the Trump camp is getting really kind of nasty.
The racism out of the Trump camp. Let's get some examples.
Get out of my country is what his bodyguard said to Jorge Ramos.
Which I didn't hear. Did you hear this anyway?
Hold on a second. I can explain that.
Okay.
There was a plant, another dirty trick.
Of
some guy, the Trump group didn't know who this guy was. When they moved Ramos out, this character comes in with a bunch of badges and buttons on. He looks like he's a server at some restaurant. And then he just comes, and as soon as the mic is turned, or somebody else turns, somebody was filming this, and the guy says, "Get out of our country." Get out of our country.
Plant. Okay.
So it was dirty tricks, and of course, the Bill Maher sees it as,
No, it's different because there's some other things that come up later. I believe that Bill Maher just has one or two people on staff who he trusts, and when they say, "Oh, well, this is what happened. This is the fact."
Okay,
then he presumes
would be absolutely the way it works.
Yeah, he presumes that the facts are true, and that his staff is infallible.
Trump said, "Go back to Univision." He said the man was very emotional.
Who gives a crap about that? By the way, this Jorge. Hold on, I have it here. Let me see. Someone sent me this. This was actually quite good. Jorge Ramos, Univision, the CEO of Univision, through Univision, I believe, donated over $25 million to the Clinton Foundation. The CEO of Univision's wife sits on the board of directors for the Clinton Foundation, and his daughter works for the Clinton campaign. So, conflict of interest much, Jorge?
These are not that coded code words. Those two guys in Boston last week who kicked the shit out of an immigrant and then said Trump was right.
Yeah, that was hearsay from a source who heard it from a cop who said he heard the guy say it. But I don't think that's really, you're just taking that for fact, and that seems a bit sketchy, certainly not journalistic, but okay, you're a comedy show, I get it.
Donald Trump was in Alabama last week. Here's what one of his supporters said after the rally. He said, hopefully if Trump's elected president, he'll make the border a vacation spot. It's going to cost you $25 for a permit, and then you get $50 for every confirmed kill. If that was my party, I'd be a little ashamed.
I think you're absolutely right.
Woo! Assholes! Racist!
Remember, you're absolutely right.
What?
That was an example of redneck humor.
Yeah, it's humor. It's totally humor.
And Maher always uses the humor.
He uses that all the time.
All the stupid crap he says.
Yes, it's exactly right. He uses that same type of humor, but then it's not. He doesn't understand redneck humor, obviously.
Trump is bombastic and he's arrogant and he's doing this in a very personal way especially with Mexicans and Mexican Americans. Now, he's wrong.
Well, now you do sound like
He's wrong in several of his solutions. He's wrong in several of his solutions, but he is right in addressing an issue
that people... He's race baiting. He's race baiting.
He's race baiting. He's race baiting. He's race baiting. He's race baiting. Look at the bump on the top of my head. It's so beautiful.
And he knows that's what he's doing.
Yeah, race baiting!
A book out of the George Wallace playbook, essentially a page out of the George Wallace playbook.
I think this
was George Wallace a racist?
Yeah.
Okay.
This guy is a European-style demagogic politician.
Oh, he's a European-style demagogic politician.
By the way.
What is up with that?
This was to paint him as
yeah. You don't have to tell me.
Paint him as a fascist.
Yes, here it comes.
A book out of the George Wallace playbook, essentially a page out of the George Wallace playbook.
Actually, I think this guy is a European-style demagogic politician in the American context. This is our Berlusconi,
This is our Berlusconi. Are you effing kidding me? Trump wishes he could have bunga bunga parties. Hell yeah. No, he doesn't own newspapers. He doesn't own television stations. But Berlusconi, was Berlusconi a fascist?
It's possible, but I think that they dropped the ball on who to point the finger at, and they decided that the only recognizable name, because the American public that listens to Burt Maher, would not know any of the Pins or any of the other people.
No. Totally. Almost ideology doesn't even matter. Far left, far right. It's whatever appeals to the chief.
If illegal immigration was not an issue that the American people were concerned about on a very personal level, they'd never put up with this negative attitude that he's got.
They may be concerned about it. It doesn't mean that it's real. The Republican side especially is great at fantasy issues. The truth is that net immigration from Mexico,
more facts,
has been zero for the last 7 or 8 years.
Well, that's what your experts can tell you. The bottom line is it's not just Mexico that we're talking about.
Then he says, most people don't know. I own the Bank of America building in San Francisco. I got it from the Chinese. I did great.
To
Then he goes to China. They've taken our money and our jobs. It's one of the greatest thefts in the history of the world. That's the way Hitler used to talk about the Jews.
Woo! There we go. Bam! Bam! Hitler, Jews. Jews, kill the Jews. These people are incredible. Just incredible. Now, something big did happen, and this shows the brilliance of Donald Trump. This is very important, and I think this was glossed over.
Before we get off this topic, I do have a Donald Trump prediction.
It's the same topic. I want your prediction after this important news.
We are talking to Ted Cruz, who's a friend of mine and a good guy, about doing something very big over the next 2 weeks in Washington. It'll be announced, and it's essentially a protest against the totally incompetent deal that we're making with Iran. Now, you tell me, why aren't these negotiators that made this horrible deal with Iran, 24 days, they do their own inspections, the whole thing is they get $150 billion and more. Why aren't they releasing our prisoners? Why didn't Kerry say, by the way, before we begin, release our prisoners? You have a journalist, you have 4 great people. One of them is there because he's a Christian. Why didn't they say, release our prisoners? And that should have happened 2 years ago. We don't have people that know anything about negotiation. Whether it's the Iran deal, you can go back to trade deals. We don't have anybody in this country that knows what they're doing in terms of negotiation. We have a president that doesn't have a clue. And that's going to all change. Our country will be great again, that I can tell you.
That's right. Now, this event, so there's an event, and Ted Cruz and Donald Trump both will be speaking at it. They're publicly saying, we are teaming up together. This is unprecedented, I think.
Yeah.
And I went and looked what the event is. The event is being organized by the very people he hates, the Jews. Because he's Hitler, you see. The Zionist Organization of America is organizing this event where Trump and Cruz will be speaking. It's the oldest pro-Israel organization in the United States. So these guys are smart. The first thing they do together is go out and do the whole Israel dance. You get Israel on your side. You're sitting pretty good here in the United States with an election.
Yeah. Yeah, so, if you can get the Jewish voter to actually vote Republican, which is not as easy as it sounds.
Regardless, it's a good move, and for them to do it together, I think is fantastic. Really, really smart. But just sticking with the Hitler and the Jews meme for a moment. This is there's a big discovery, and Agent Orange, our military expert, will be going to this place on Tuesday and will give us a full report of what is found. He's part of the team that works on these types of issues.
Local legend has it that a Nazi train filled with gold, gems and guns went missing below this fairy tale setting in 1945. But digging deeper, it appears the fable is fact. Authorities say ground-penetrating radar photos reveal a World War II German military train lays buried near the southwestern city of Wałbrzych.
Wałbrzych is in Poland. Poland.
Oh, yeah.
And, of course, we all know the Polish, they hate the Jews. They screwed over all the Jews, which is not true, but that's what the meme is. Hollywood hates the Polish Jews. Screw the Polish Jews. And they stole our gold, damn it. Stupid-ass Jew-hating Polish.
Rumored the train was carrying stolen treasure as the Soviet army closed in.
Moja wiedza jest taka, że tam jeszcze nikt nie dotarł po wojnie.
As far as I know, nobody has accessed the train since World War II. The information about its location was given orally by a person who was among those who buried the train. That person revealed the secret on their deathbed, along with a sketch of where the train was hidden.
Its exact location within these underground tunnels is being kept under wraps, and with threats of booby traps, treasure hunters are being warned to steer clear.
We believe that not only treasures could be stored on board, as the finders claim, but we assume that dangerous materials from the war might also be found.
Authorities hope the train will also hold looted art and Nazi archives. Work is now underway to unearth and secure the find with the help of military experts. The operation is expected to take weeks.
Yeah.
For some reason, Al Capone's safe comes to mind.
Yeah, we need Geraldo to come in and open that train. What a great idea. Excellent.
That would be a big
that would be a hit.
They're digging.
Geraldo to open the train. From the chat room, MS Smallbiz. You cannot argue against that Trump is spouting nationalism, which is what Hitler did early on, which was really just echoes of the Napoleonic War era, France invading Germany. You know, every single presidential candidate speaks nationalistically.
Yeah.
That's what you do. That's the whole point. President Obama speaks nationalistically all the time. So you could say anybody. It's shit. You could call me Hitler. Please don't.
Yeah, no, you can't. This is lame, whoever said that.
MS Smallbiz. Yeah, it's totally lame. And people are like, yeah, that's true, man. That's true.
Yeah, it's true. He's a nationalist. What American running for president is not going to be nationalist?
Exactly.
And if I'm president, I'm turning the country over to the Russians.
Snowden.
We're going to open the borders for everybody because our country sucks.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
That is really
about how great the country is. Oh, we're the greatest country. Oh, we're the greatest. Yeah. That's all nationalism.
Well, let me give you an example. Here is the president's podcast, which will take us. Oh, you have Trump clips? Because I want to move on.
Before you go there.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
First of all, since you brought Cruz into it, yep. I kind of wrote Cruz off after watching him at an event where he has this. But I know it's always bothered me. I know his dad was a preacher. But Cruz has got the most,
he has the personality of a wet dish rag.
He has a preacher's way of presenting. He talks like a minister.
Yeah. Yes.
And like not only that, but he talks like a Texas minister. It's a style of speech and demeanor.
More like a not a minister, but a pastor.
A evangelist.
Yeah, there you go.
We don't want another evangelist in the White House because the last one almost broke the country.
And which one was that?
Who is a minister, doesn't even pull this stunt.
Wait a minute, who was the last minister who broke the country?
Not a minister, a evangelist. Bush.
Yes, Bush. And when you say that, I think of Bush.
Broke the country. It cost us trillions of dollars of these stupid wars that he put us into. We're just in bad financial condition because of this guy. So he's for torture. What kind of a man of God is that? So let's play. I got 3 Ted Cruz clips.
Right on.
And Death to America would be number 1.
When Pastor Saeed was first sent to prison, he was sent to the Evin prison, a brutal prison in Iran.
Brutal.
But it turned out for the Ayatollah that was not good enough. And they transferred Pastor Saeed to the even worse Rajai Shah prison, which is where they keep their death row. It is the worst hellhole in the entire Iranian prison system. The day they transferred Pastor Saeed was a day that the Iranian Ayatollah celebrates. It's a holiday in Iran. It's called Death to America Day. It is the
Wait a minute. When is this? When is this holiday? I want to put that on the calendar.
It is bullshit.
When is the Death to America Day?
This is the Iranian Revolution Day. This is their 4th of July, and it's called Revolution Day.
No, it's called Death to America Day.
Death to America Day.
Hey, let me see. When is the Death to? I want to know the date.
I think it's in. I don't know. I had it on the. I was going to.
Hold on. Here it is. This is from Cruz himself. Why don't they mention the date? Well, you look at here it is. November 4th.
Okay.
But put it on the calendar, November 4th, Death to America Day. We need to celebrate.
It is the anniversary of Iran's taking American citizens hostages in the 1970s. And the Ayatollah leads chants of death to America while they burn American flags. That was the day they transferred Pastor Saeed.
Excellent. Great. Okay, do they have fireworks on this day, Death to America Day?
Do they take the day off?
I hope so.
Apparently, the guys who are prison guards don't get to take the day off because that's when they move people. Whatever the case, I said that, he goes on, and now he's talking to the wife of this poor guy who is locked up, one of the 4, and that's the reason for this event you're talking about, because he's all in on this idea. So he continues interviewing the woman with this clip, too.
Now, may we know that God has it in his power to free Saeed from prison. Just as Paul and Silas, an earthquake shattered open the prison.
Oh,
and nice. They walked out.
I lift up mine eyes unto the hills, from whence cometh my help.
with their captors ready to take his own life in God's power. Know that today, right now, Saeed is not alone in that prison.
No. God is with him.
And you and your children are not alone.
God is with them.
As your husband is suffering.
No.
Every one of us here
is with you.
We are lifting you up in prayer. We are standing with you.
Woo! All right,
nice.
So he gets the audience all worked up.
Of course.
And now they're all standing, and he brings everybody out, and they do a hand-to-hand grasp.
A prayer.
He delivers a prayer that goes on. I only have this little clip of it, this short clip of it, but it goes on. It's like, get off the stage. I mean, anyone who's actually a working minister knows that not to bore people stiff like this character. But he's leading a prayer. I'm watching this going, this is ridiculous. I mean, are you running for office or you just want to get a congregation together? I don't have anything against people doing this to a point, but not when you're running for president of the United States. And we've already had a guy who is just a terrible president. Very similar, evangelical from Texas, just like this guy. This was the end for me.
It's a fractal.
And I'm not going to sit there and ridicule him for doing this. I'm just saying this.
Fractal. It completes the fractal.
Completes the fractal.
To pray together.
All right.
For these heroes and for our nation. And if we would all stand and pray. Father God, we come to you today on our knees. Celebrating your glory, celebrating the courage and faith of these heroes who follow the teachings of the Word, who reflect in their countenance the redeeming love of our Savior, Jesus Christ. And Father God, we come here today claiming the promises of the Scripture. Jesus told us, He has sent me to heal the brokenhearted, to proclaim liberty to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, to set at liberty those who are oppressed.
This is God speaking. Stop that shit.
So anyway, he goes on and on and on, and I just thought to myself, I do not want and by the way, it's a type of religion where you display your religiosity in public to an extreme.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want a preacher as president of the United States under any circumstances.
No, I'd rather have.
If he tries to cover it up,
I'd rather have a fascist. That's better. A nationalist fascist prick.
So this is the guy Trump's going to be working with. He's going to have to get a clue about this. So meanwhile,
well, wouldn't he be great as a running mate? Do you think that's in the cards?
I would hope not, but I don't think that. Again, I don't think it's going to get that far.
All right.
I have the two Trump clips that then lead me to my prediction.
Okay, good.
And this is kind of interesting.
Good.
One is this the Trump Katie upcoming surprise clip when he's talking to this woman who's got the world's worst name. She's very pretty. She's on, I believe she's...
what's her name?
Katie Tur. And you just want to say Katie Turd.
Is it T-U-R?
Yes.
Huh. Yeah, Katie
and I think
Tur.
she's with CBS.
Let me see what she looks like. Well, I'm a face guy. She does not have a pretty face.
You see, she's very telegenic then.
No, I'm looking at a television shot on the Today Show.
No, yeah, telegenic means in movement.
Oh, okay. She's
like
got a... Yeah, she's...
No, leave. Well, you can take it or leave it. I don't care.
I do. I care. I care
Trump
about my...
Katie upcoming surprise play.
Okay.
I'm a Republican, I'm a conservative, but I'm just as angry with the Republicans.
The NFRA doesn't take too kindly to third-party runs. By coming here, the NFRA, by coming here, are you telling them you won't be doing that?
Well, I think over the next couple of weeks, Katie, you're going to see some things that are very interesting.
Is he a Reagan Republican?
I think he's a Trump Republican.
You're going to see something very interesting.
Mm-hmm. What would that be?
By the way, I made the prediction a couple of weeks ago to myself. And before that clip, that's just confirming. And you can kind of deconstruct what the prediction is going to be by playing Trump in South Carolina.
If Trump wants to be on the South Carolina primary ballot, he'll have to rule out a third-party run, something he has so far refused to do. The filing form in the Palmetto State requires the candidate to sign a pledge by the end of next month, promising to support the Republican nominee.
Wow, you think he's going to go third party?
No. He is going to try to pull because it's been done. And if we think of Murkowski in Alaska, she's the one who did it last. He is not going to sign this pledge. He is going to run as a write-in candidate.
Huh.
If he can win, he's got the money to advertise it.
Absolutely.
And she won in Alaska as a write-in candidate when the Republicans screwed her.
So you mean the Republicans would all defect to him as a write-in?
People love a write-in candidate that just know that the person's there. It's a form of rebellion. And he's riding the rebellion wave. I mean, his whole attraction is that, he's a rebel. And by sticking with his principles and saying, I'm not going to sign this thing. I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do what people tell me to do because they want it. I'm doing what I want to do. And he can make a big scene about it, make a big stink, and he'll get lots of publicity, and he'll get more write-in votes, and this is something he'd love to be able to do, than Lindsey Graham will get on the ballot.
Right.
And he can ride that to just a lot of PR.
Okay, put this in the book then. So this should happen in a few weeks. As a write-in,
he has to sign that document.
Right.
I'm sure he doesn't. This is really a good idea. It seems to me to go in as a write-in candidate in South Carolina and then win. And if he doesn't win, he can blame the write-in part of it. Yeah, I did the best I could, but there's the damn part. And I want to bring something else up since we're talking about this sort of thing. These primaries. Who pays for these elections? Who pays when you have a primary in California? Who's paying the bill on printing the ballots and doing all the
corporations?
The taxpayers.
Oh,
what do you mean the corporations?
I'm just guessing.
They're free of this. Do you know what it costs on average to do a primary or general election in terms of what it costs per voter?
No.
To put it on?
Mm-mm.
Between $10 and $17.
Dang.
A person.
Dang.
Now, so here's what got to me. The fact that South Carolina Republicans, or even the California Republicans who won't let you vote just in an open ballot, are bossing around the electoral people that have the money to put these elections on. So in other words, the California taxpayer or the South Carolina taxpayer is paying for the primaries of the Republicans and the Democrats when it's their little piece of business. It's not the national election that I can see. The states can pay for that because it's important. You're actually electing people. Mm-hmm. You're not electing anybody in these primaries.
No.
All you're doing is just, saying, okay, I like this guy or I like that guy at the expense of the taxpayer. They should go, Iowa and some other states say, screw this. We're not going to spend this kind of money on these stupid things that these parties want. It's their business. Let them do their own thing. They have caucuses and then they have their state convention. And the convention, like the national convention, chooses the guy who's going to run from their state. So in other words, so that doesn't cost the taxpayers anything. This entire taxpayer thing is an outrageous scam. And what galls me about it is that South Carolina makes the candidate jump through hoops while the taxpayers picking up the tab for the whole thing. These things should be banned, or the party should pay for them. The taxpayers should not pay for them. The only reason that they've even existed is because during the 50s and 60s, there used to be a lot of publicity about, these guys are being chosen in cigar smoke-filled rooms. And I remember that when I was a kid because there was a big complaint about these conventions choosing the candidates and the public should choose. Of course, the only benefit of anybody for the public to choose, and they're not even interested in voting in primaries, is that the media, again, gets to pick up a lot of a lot of advertising for their bottom line. So let's make these primaries and then stick the taxpayers. The media should be paying for these damn primaries. They're getting all the money out of it. The taxpayers are getting screwed.
John C. Dvorak's pet peeve of the day.
I thought you were over.
Well, I was $10 ahead, which is low, by the way.
Well,
tens of millions of dollars go to these primaries. It comes right out of the taxpayers' coffers during a depression. This is ridiculous.
And with that, I'd like to thank you for your courage. And say, in the morning to you, John C., where the C stands for Cruises Crap, Dvorak.
Well, in the morning to you, Mr. Adam Curry. Also in the morning to all ships at sea, boots on the ground, feet in the air, subs in the water, and all the dames and knights out there.
Yes, and in the morning to our everyone in the chat room, who have been pretty helpful today. That's always nice. That's noagendastream.com.
We were talking about them earlier.
Yeah, well, they heard me, and they've been very helpful. Also, in the morning to PewDiePie, who was the artist who gave I don't think it's the PewDiePie we're thinking of, but who knows, who gave us the artwork for episode 751, titled the episode Funny Blow. This was I like this one, was the TV screen head with the pills in it holding out a gun.
Yeah.
It was very apropos. NoAgendaArtGenerator.com is where you can find all of the submissions for every single episode. Had a lot of them. Not all that great, but please keep it up. We love to see the fantastic art, and we use it for the newsletters as well.
All right, so we have a one executive producer and 4 associate executive producer for show 752. Yeah, we didn't get a lot of response on this particular offer.
Okay,
but we did get one executive producer at $300. Herbert Harms, is it Harms?
Harms, I think, yeah, Harms.
Happy birthday.
Let me guess, you have still not changed your monitor situation.
Happy birthday to Adam. I'm also celebrating my 30th birthday on 8/31. So we got him on the list.
Yeah, he's on the list.
So here's a $300 donation to celebrate the hard work you two put into the show. Keep it up. Love you guys. KC0WII.
Yeah, Kilo Charlie 0, Whiskey India, 7 3s from the Kilo Fox 5, Sugar Lima November.
Ditto.
Ditto. Ditto. If you're using my call sign, that's an FCC violation. I'm having your license taken away.
Sure you are.
I'm going to rat on you.
Graham Dunlop in Calgary, Alberta.
Oh, the Grimerica guy.
Yeah, Grimerica.
Yeah.
Grimerica. $288. From Graham of the Grimerica Show. No Sir Gray of Grimerica. See email to Adam late on August 28th, 2015. So you got it right there.
Let me check it out. Yes, here it is. This that's $288. Yeah, this donation of $288 takes the Grimerica Show over the top to knighthood. I hope this helps Adam get on the road towards Canada, where your producers are getting hosed with the exchange rate. The best podcast in the universe, the second best podcast in the universe, the Grimerica Show, also supports this value for value model. Thank you guys for deconstructing the crap so that we don't have to. May you stay strong and continue to stomach this filth for us as we grow strong in supporting you. Adam, we're looking forward to meeting you and helping you any way we can up here in Calgary and the surrounding area. And be sure to drop by the Igloo Studio. May I humbly ask for DMT and astral travel at the round table. Okay. Hold on a second.
Do you have him on the list? Is he on the list?
Let me double check. Hold on a second. Well, we have him on the list for, I presume,
for the night.
Yeah. Let me just put his roundtable rewards on because he wanted that. Okay. Good. I'll put that on and you can move on for us.
William Granger in Fort Lewis, Washington, $253. And I looked for a note from him and I was not finding one.
What's his name?
Granger. And he has a completely different email address, and I looked that up too, and that's what wasn't findable.
Let me just take one look.
Good old Tim, where you're looking. Good old Tim Nutting in Mukilteo, Washington, I guess, 251. Happy birthday, Adam. Keep up the good work, guys. Donation is $200 for the show, plus $51 for Adam's birthday. Deduce me and play me off the show with a Bomb Them anthem. A short no, cucaracha, and the dash of karma.
Oh, hold on a second. Okay, give them to me again.
State.
Hold on a second. Bomb them. I'm going to play the short.
Deduce him first. It doesn't have to be part of the.
Okay, no.
You've been de-douched.
I have a couple of nuttings that come to the show.
I'm sorry?
I I said we have a couple of nuttings.
Okay, hold on. So we want to bomb them. What else does he want? You got to tell me because I can't.
Short? No. If you can do the cucaracha, it's best. And karma. That's it.
The short cucaracha, but which one is that? Hold on. I wasn't ready for this. I'm sorry. It's too
I don't
much.
care. You don't have to apologize to me.
Well,
apologize to the audience.
I just don't. The thing is, which one is the cucaracha? It's not the chicken dance.
It's chicken dance. Believe me.
No, that's da 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 da. No, we have a cucaracha one. I know there's a one. That's,
okay, well, I don't know where it is.
Hold on.
Will that do?
No. Shoot. I'll have to find it for the end of the show. I'm sorry. I just can't.
Yeah, we'll skip a no.
No. I'll do this no, and some karma for it.
How about them overlaid with no?
No.
Bomb them. We need to kill and bomb them. Bomb them. We need to kill and bomb them. Bomb them. We need to bomb them. We need to kill them and bomb them again.
I'll use this one.
No.
I like this one too.
No.
Oh, hold on. I found it.
Okay, you know what?
Here we go. Hola!
No. Hey.
You've got
found
karma.
Woo. Lucky shot.
That's hilarious.
Yes.
And finally, last but not least, Stephen Newell in Jacksonville, Florida, $225. Thank you for your courage. He says, give him a round of karma, whether he wants it or not.
You've got karma.
Well, I want to thank our executive producer and associate executive producers on today's show. You are the ones, along with the other producers, who will be thanking later on in the thank you segment. You really make it work for us, and I really appreciate that. Although you weren't credited the way I had intended in Lance, what's his name, Ulanoff? Is it Lance? What? Is it Lance Ulanoff?
What's Lance Ulanoff?
Isn't that the reporter guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, he wrote an article about podcasting. He called me about it.
He did?
Yeah, and I laid the whole thing on him about the value for value model and how this was working and how this, and then we're somewhere way at the bottom of the article. I didn't even think it said no agenda show. It just said, Curry and his co-host Dvorak. And the one thing he did put in there is, although he didn't quote me correctly, as I said, podcasting has overtaken broadcasting. Just look at all the broadcasters who are now podcasting. It's a very simple thing. And he said, Curry thinks podcasting will take over broadcasting. When a journalist already has his mind set on what he's going to write, it doesn't matter what you say.
Talking to you.
I'm sorry?
Why even bother talking to you?
But because Victoria Belmont got all in his face on Twitter, and this is what he told me. He said, I figured I might as well talk to you then. And then he got the whole name of podcasting wrong, which is always, he credits that to Ben Hammersley, which is not true.
I'm sorry, what?
He credits the name podcasting to Ben Hammersley of The Guardian, which is not. What? Yeah. Now, Hammersley did use the word podcasting before podcasting. I will give him that. But it was, now I've forgotten the guy's name. It was a guy who was listening to the early shows that I was doing with Dave Weiner.
By the way, it's Veronica Belmont.
Yeah, whatever. It was with a G. Now I feel bad now.
Veronica Belmont?
No, the guy who came up with the name podcasting. Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah, okay. Anyway.
Got all worked up about that article. Do you think anyone read it?
It got retweeted a lot.
No. Yeah. I never heard of it.
Well.
I know you.
Thanks for reading my tweets.
He could have.
I told him to call you. He said, nah, I don't want to talk to Dvorak.
He said that?
Yeah.
Just like that?
Just like that, with that voice. I'll do it again. Nah, I don't want to talk to Dvorak. Huh. He's grumpy. I made that part up. But it could have been. I know. Time to break some kneecaps, I think. Thank you all very much for supporting the program. These credits are real, unlike the phonies in Hollywood. We'll vouch for you if you put them on the LinkedIn and anybody questions it.
Dvorak.org/NA.
Now, of course, you always need to be doing the very important work of going out there and propagating our formula.
Our formula is this. We go out, we hit people in the mouth.
Amen. Fist bump.
Shut up, Slade.
Shut up, Slade.
I have a new segment.
A new segment?
Yeah.
Well, hold on. Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, time for a new segment.
I don't know how to quite the title yet, but it's like it's a variation on Ask Adam, and it would be something like, do you think that this story is giving us all the facts?
It's called the Fact Check of the Day.
Dead Archbishop story.
A former archbishop charged with sexual abuse of children has been found dead before he could stand trial for his alleged crimes. Joseph Wesolowski would have been the highest-ranking Vatican official to come before a tribunal, but he fell ill before the trial's July start date. Already defrocked, he died while under house arrest in Vatican City. Initial findings indicate his death was from natural causes.
I think I have to call bullshit on it. This is the old poison in the ring, way to open up the ring, put it into his goblet. You know that's what's happening.
I couldn't but laugh out loud with the whole story.
That's great.
Yeah. Good reporting, too.
Natural causes. Yeah, his heart stopped beating because of the poison from the ring in the goblet. Hello. That's easy. Good one. Good segment. I like it.
Yeah.
I watched the president's podcast.
Yes, you always do.
Yes, and he had it was a very long one, so I cut it down to about a minute, $1:20. It was 4.5 minutes. And as always, we start off our nationalistic prayer with Heil, everybody.
Hi, everybody. This Monday, I'm heading to Alaska for a 3-day tour of the state.
A 3-day tour.
I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Stop.
Sure.
Stop. Danny Gregoire. Thank you very much, chat room. Danny Gregoire is the one who came up with the name podcasting. Let's make sure that's credited properly. Ulanoff.
Hi, everybody.
Heil.
This Monday, I'm heading to Alaska for a 3-day tour of the state. I've been looking forward to this for a long time, not only because Alaska is one of the most beautiful places in a country that's full of beautiful places.
But there's also 5 chicks to every guy up there.
But because...
No, there's not.
Oh, yes, there is. In Anchorage.
The opposite in Alaska.
In Anchorage, I've been to Anchorage, there was 5 chicks for every guy.
No.
In 1990.
I don't believe even in 1990. You will not be able to document this nonsense.
I was doing a sock hop, spinning the tunes.
You were the one guy, so all the women came out of the woodwork. Everybody else is like big beards and they stink.
Well...
There goes our Alaskan donors.
I'll have several opportunities to meet with everyday Alaskans about what's going on in their lives. I'll travel throughout the state, meet with Alaskans who live above the Arctic Circle, with Alaska natives.
I've been there. Tuktoyaktuk, in Nuvik.
And with folks who earn their livelihoods through fishing and tourism.
Folks.
And I expect to learn a lot.
Oh.
One thing I've learned so far is that a lot of these conversations begin with climate change. And that's because Alaskans are already living with its effects.
Like, hey, Mr. President, climate change. Is that how it starts? Hey, Mr. President, climate change.
More frequent and extensive wildfires. Bigger storm surges as sea ice melts faster. Some of the swiftest shoreline erosion in the world. In some places, more than 3 feet a year. Alaska's glaciers are melting faster, too, threatening tourism.
What?
You got to stop. I got to look out the window.
Here's our climate... Wait. Ladies and gentlemen, time for the John C. Dvorak Climate Change Report.
Okay, I'm looking out the window at the mud flats, which I've been looking at for the last 20 years. And they're still there.
This concludes the John C. Dvorak Climate Change Report.
Faster, too, threatening tourism and adding to rising seas. And if we do nothing, Alaskan temperatures are projected to rise between 6 and 12 degrees by the end of the century, changing all sorts.
Did you hear that? The end of the century, so that's 85 years from now. We'll be around to call bullshit on it.
Century.
Wait, what was the temperature rise? 6 to 12?
6 to 12 degrees. Wow.
Alaska,
hold on.
Glaciers are melting faster too, threatening tourism and adding to rising seas. And if we do nothing, Alaskan temperatures are projected to rise between 6 and 12 degrees by the end of the century, changing all sorts of industries forever. This is all real.
Climate change is real.
It's real. It's real. It's real.
This is happening to our fellow Americans right now. In fact, Alaska's governor recently told me that 4 villages are in imminent danger and have to be relocated. Already rising sea levels are beginning to swallow one island community.
Swallowing?
Think about that.
Think about it.
If another country threatened to wipe out an American town, we'd do everything in our power to protect ourselves. Climate change poses the same threat right now.
Oh, we should go bomb climate change then. Drone that sucker.
Mark the time, because you had that sound effect you made was just priceless.
Okay, hold on. 1:38. I don't have a... Where's my pen? Where's my pen? 1:38. Okay. Yeah, swallowing up a whole town and...
Gulp, gulp, gulp.
Gulp, gulp. Yeah, fantastic. All right. Now, this brings me to another Burt Mayer clip.
Okay.
Burt Mayer had Rick Santorum on. And Rick Santorum is running for president.
That's what we were told.
Yeah. Rick Santorum is a Catholic. Then he's against a whole bunch of things. But he had some interesting data, and I thought the entire exchange was worth listening to, as you see how he comes up with some facts, which I believe are very close to how we deconstructed the 97% of all scientists agree meme, and listen to how Bill Maher parries that.
Because I don't think you think climate change is a real problem. And I'm
not alone. I mean, the most recent survey...
You're not alone.
The most recent survey of climate scientists said about 57% don't agree with the idea that 95% of the change in the climate is being caused by CO2.
Again?
There was a survey done of 1,800 scientists, and 57% said they don't buy off on the idea that CO2 is the knob that's turning the climate. There's hundreds of reasons for climate change.
I don't know what ass you're pulling that
I'm not.
He said ass.
I'll send you the survey.
Stupid audience, butt fuckers.
Okay.
It's 18.
Sorry, Tourette's. I'm sorry. I'll work on it.
100 climate scientists. That's number one. Number two, the 97% figure that's thrown around. The head of the UN IPC said that number was pulled out of thin air. It was based on a survey of 77. Not even 97 scientists responded to that survey. So let's talk about facts. And the fact is, lots of things cause climate change.
The Pope made a very strong statement.
Now, this is beautiful.
That was outstanding.
It's not done yet. Wait for it. Wait, he's going to continue. And we knew what this was about. The Pope coming in to get everybody on board with climate change.
As I've pointed out before, an atheist,
yes,
using the Pope,
yeah,
as a symbol of some sort of authority. How can you do that if you're an atheist and the Pope is just a big phony?
This is exactly what the whole idea was with the Pope. When I predicted he would become Pope, I said this was going to happen. Before the smoke, I predicted the Pope.
In support of my position on climate change, not yours. And your position, when you heard that, was, hey, let's leave the science to the scientists. Okay, first of all, you're not doing that. But second of all,
I am.
You're not, because 97% of all scientists believe...
It's a bogus number.
It's so not a bogus number.
It's so a bogus.
Okay, yours is, mine is, yours is, mine is.
See, he can't combat it, so he's just going to go, you said, he said, it's a bogus number. 97% of all scientists, all, not just climate scientists, all scientists, all of them.
I love the way it morphed into that.
Oh, yeah. But that's a funny way. You put him in his place, Burt Maher, you did.
But what I want to ask you is, I mean, I'm not a Catholic. I'm an atheist.
Yeah, so shut up.
I like the Pope better than you do, and I wouldn't. And I wouldn't. But wait a second. You're saying the Pope should stick to what he knows, and I find that so ridiculous. Because this is what I always say. So much of religion is arrogance masquerading as humility. He's the vicar of Christ, your God. Shouldn't you have the humility to say, well, if the Pope thinks climate change is a problem, maybe I should? He's not just another guy.
Wait a minute. How can Bill Maher say he's another guy? He's an atheist, no?
If you look at all the things the Pope said, which I hope you do, he put it in the context of trying to reach out to people who may not agree with him on a whole lot of other issues in order to try to open up some doors and open up a conversation, which he's obviously done. I mean, Al Gore's now saying he's going to become a Catholic because of this president. I mean, because of this Pope.
Interesting little flub there at the end. Because of this president, Pope. Mm-hmm.
That's but what does it mean?
I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But I just like the Bill Maher, like, did you pull that out of your ass or someone's ass? I don't know whose ass you pulled it out of.
Yeah, that's the way it works. That's the way that whole
shout him down. Shout him down.
Shout him down. Shout him down. That's all very scientific.
Shout them down, I tell you.
Well, it's hard to, you're in that group. It's like going into the bad side of town. Yeah. And everyone hates you. And so what do you expect to happen?
Yeah, really.
You're going to get beat up.
Yeah. Well, sure. Well, right. Okay. I have a little more here.
You had what?
I have a little more. I got more. I got tons of stuff today.
Yeah, you apparently do.
Yeah, I do.
Let's, I want to tease something I'll probably be talking about in more depth in the future because they've been doing this. This is the kind of thing that nobody really wants to bring to the fore because it's kind of inconvenient. The inconvenient truth. Play going after aircraft to slow climate change.
Climate change is already upon us.
Who is this?
This is a House hearing.
With unprecedented temperature increases, rising sea levels, extraordinary rates of species extinction, and more extreme weather events. Efforts to quickly and sharply curb and then eliminate carbon pollution are essential if we are to avoid the worst effects of climate change. Science tells us that this requires the U.S. to reduce emissions in the range of 35 to 65% by 2030 from 1990 baseline levels. To begin to approach those levels, every significant carbon emission source must reduce its emissions, and the aircraft industry has too long evaded every attempt to make it contribute its fair share.
Chemtrail. We're all gonna die! Yep. We knew this was happening.
Yeah, and there was a big hearing, and they had one character after another coming up and condemning the airline industry and how they have to change this and then the other thing. This is not going to go anywhere. This is going to maybe be the death. At some point, the climate change thing is going to turn around. And if you start attacking certain kind of, I don't know what, certain specific categories in the economy, it's not going to fly. And this, I've never seen such disinterest on the part of the people, including all the pro-climate change, the warmists. It's very interesting to watch. What's going to happen? Nothing, hopefully.
Very important question was posed to our future president, Donald Trump. I love saying that. This was, I think it was just a phoner that was, it's a Cuomo, the Cuomo kid. The Trump loves the Cuomo kid because their moms love each other, some crap like that. I don't know. Like they drank tea together. The question, of course, was about the TV shooters, the two killed there on their live shoot.
Yes. And by the way, we got a lot of notes from.
We got a lot of notes, and I figured out the photographer thing.
Okay, can I stop and kind of outline the notes,
please,
in terms of the things that we did wrong?
You have to do the voice.
I can only do the voice when I'm reading one of the notes.
Okay, all right.
But one of the things was we I think ridiculed the use of the word photographer when cameraman's all we've ever heard, and a photographer is used, especially on the East Coast, I believe. Also, it's easy just to follow a van around if you want to shoot somebody. Then they figured, because we couldn't figure out what the guy was doing at 6 a.m.
No, you couldn't, but yeah.
I couldn't. And then I didn't realize it was like a morning show.
Morning
shows, all the bogus live action things. Okay, fine. I wasn't thinking clearly, but it's beside the point. And then I think, what was the third one? There was something else that we did wrong.
Well, yes.
Excoriated for.
But the main thing was about, well, for a lot of people, you went over the top. Not everything's a hoax. Not everything's a false flag. But I don't think
we said it was a hoax.
In fact, I think I was very specific in saying, these are just weird things I want to point out that aren't discussed. We discussed the videos that you've not seen on television, the first-person shooter thing. Just discussing it doesn't mean that we're trying to make it into a hoax. Yeah. Not at all. We're just showing anomalies in human behavior.
It was newbies, one guy in particular, that have never listened to the show. This one guy writes in, he says, I'm never going to listen to the show again.
Crap show. You're over the top. You're all wrong. You're bad.
Yeah.
Now, let me start with
the show is to discuss these things. Right, if there's a bunch of anomalies, I think they should be brought out.
Now, let's start with the photographer meme. So I received a number of similar notes saying, I've been in broadcast news for 15 years, and we've always used photographer for cameraman. It's gender neutral. And I said, I've not been in broadcast news for 15 years, which is when this crap started, because it's gender neutral. But there's something else to it. This is around the time when the technology revolution really started to take off, and it had to gain some steam, because as a cameraman, you are just one step above a dude with an iPhone and a selfie stick. So when we think of the film industry, director of photography, yes, that we want to sound a little more important. So if we say I'm a photographer, it's a little more hoity-toity than just cameraman, which, as we know, is just a dude with a selfie stick. That's what this is about.
Oh, and the cameraman out there, Adam at curry.com.
Yeah, bring it on. So we need to ask future President Donald Trump about the shooting and what is his view on this. And he takes a view that is now the new talking point. And if I didn't know any better, if I knew this was a hoax or crisis actors or whatever anyone wants, I would say it was set up by Trump or the Republican Party or anybody to move the gun conversation towards mental health, what we call the war on crazy.
This is really a sick person. This isn't a gun problem. This is a mental problem. And, you have cases where, like, had the veterans, had the guys that were shot recently, if they had weapons, they might have been able to save themselves. They would have been able. They were all heroes. They were all tremendous military men, and they had absolutely no defense. And frankly, a case like this, he snuck up on them, whether it was a gun or a knife or whatever it would have been something. But, you're not going to get rid of all guns. So I know one thing. If you tried to do it, the bad guys would have them, to use an expression, and the good folks would abide by the law. They'd be hopeless, and it would be a hopeless situation for them. And I think it's a big mistake. And I'm a very much Second Amendment person, Chris, and I know the arguments both ways very well, but I'm very much into the Second Amendment. You need protection.
Yeah. So that is the president's the future president's stance. I'm just going to keep saying it. And this is the entire talking point. And here he comes. Here comes Andy Parker, who this is the father of Allison Parker, the professional actor, Broadway actor. And he's out stumping everywhere, bringing the same message.
Her life was cut short. She had so much potential. And, it's senseless that her life and Adam's life were taken by a crazy person with a gun. And, if I have to be the John Walsh of gun control and, I'm for the Second Amendment.
This is what Trump is saying. But then to add, if I have to be the John Walsh of gun control, this is the guy whose kid, Adam, no coincidence, I think. There's all these memes come popping back. His son Adam was abducted and they found him dead, and he's made an entire career out of this. I'm not saying it's bad, but this guy seems to want a career.
But there has to be a way to force politicians that are cowards and in the pockets of the NRA to come to grips and make sense, have sensible laws so that crazy people can't get guns. It can't be that hard. And yet politicians from the local level to the state level to the national level, they sidestep the issue. They kick the can down the road. This can't happen anymore. And I know that the NRA, their position is going to be, I can hear it now, they're going to say, oh, gee, well, if they were carrying, this never would have happened. I got news for you. If Allison or Adam had...
You notice this little flub. He says he wants to say Chris, which is the boyfriend. He says Adam. Why? Is that so hard to remember who's dead and who's the boyfriend?
And I know that the NRA, their position is going to be, I can hear it now, they're going to say, oh, gee, well, if they were carrying, this never would have happened. I got news for you. If Allison or Adam had been carrying an AK-47 strapped around their waist, it wouldn't have made any difference. They couldn't have seen this thing coming. So, I don't want to hear that argument from the NRA, and you know that's going to happen. And I'm going to take it on. I got a call from Governor McAuliffe yesterday, and I told him exactly what my plan was. If I have to be a crusader on this, I'm not going to rest until I see something happen. And Andy said, you go for it. I'm right there with you. Mm-hmm. We've got to have our legislators and our congressmen step up to the plate and stop being cowards about this.
We just had Donald Trump on. He's leading in the polls, and he says these are tough issues, and I'm for the Second Amendment, and I don't think that you should take away more guns. That doesn't seem to be the answer.
Notice that Chris Cuomo is the one sticking these two together. He's on the scene in Roanoke. The first he has President-elect in the future, Trump, and then he comes out with, let's talk to this guy.
And mental illness is tough, and we should do more, and those things sound great to people. We hear them from politicians all the time, and yet nothing changes because the two sides are very rooted. The law is what it is, and change is hard. What do you say to those issues?
Of course, and I'm not saying let's take away guns. I'm just saying let's make it harder for people with mental issues or people that like this guy that killed Allison and Adam, to make it difficult for them to purchase guns. There's got to be a mechanism that gets put in place for that, and I don't think that's unreasonable to do. But steps of how many new towns are we going to have? How many Sandy Hooks? How many people? How many Allisons are going
This really sounds like a grieving dad to me, doesn't it?
It doesn't sound like one at all.
This is going to happen to before we stop it. And it is, I'm challenging you, the media, because again, this is one of your own. And I know how the business works. It's a great story for a couple of days, and then it goes to the back burner and nothing happens. But I can promise you, and I can promise the American people, I'm not going to rest until I see something get done here.
Okay. Very good.
By the way, I do want to kind of preface this entire story with gun violence has been steadily declining for the last 10 years.
Well, thank you very much. Now we have the APHA, the American Public Health Association. And they pulled their 990, this is the nonprofit organization. They do about $16 million in revenue, just magically appearing out of thin air. They are a lobbying group. The CEO receives $331,000 a year in salary, which is fine. It's fine for a nonprofit. You're a do-gooder for $331,000 a year. And they have some interesting comparisons.
It is not the first time we've seen a horrific shooting. It is not the first time it's been recorded. But for many, this is a first. Thinking about gun violence the same way we think about car accidents or smoking, as a public health issue. Georges Benjamin is the executive director of the American Public Health Association.
Seatbelts, airbags, and all those things we didn't have before have dramatically reduced number of automobile crashes and the human toll from that. We can do the same thing with firearms.
The website shootingtracker.com estimates once a day in this country, 4 or more people have been shot in a mass shooting so far this year. Benjamin says a public health campaign that focuses on securing guns in the home, increased firearm safety training, And more screening of the mentally ill focuses less on gun control politics and more on prevention.
Yes.
You got to back it up.
Okay.
He said something about so many people out of shots on mass shootings.
Thank you. You picked it up. You picked it up. Very good. What they're calling through their... Now, you have to go to this thing. Was it Shooter Tracker? Hold on a second.
Shooter Tracker.
Mass Shooting Tracker. You got to check this out, because this is the statistic that the APHA just used comes from. Go to shootingtracker.com. This is a wiki page. It's a freaking wiki. A freaking wiki.
And you hate wikis.
Yeah, I do. Welcome to the world's only crowdsourced mass shooting tracker. As featured on the Huffington Post by United Press International, The Daily Show with Jon Stewart.
I see what I did wrong. Never mind.
The Young Turks, all of the all-in bull crap shows, totally biased with W. Kamau Bell, Gawker, and more. The tracker is proudly crowdsourced using the power of our subscribers at Guns Are Cool. The most obscene incidents of gun violence do not make mainstream news at all. Why? Because their definition is incorrect. The mainstream news meaning of mass shooting should be more accurately be described as mass murder. Anyway, they come up with every day, there are 4 people shot that is the definition of a mass shooting. But somehow this statistic comes from a wiki page where people it's crowdsourced. Like, oh yeah, 4 people got shot over here. And this is then subsequently used by Bert Maher.
This week, and it happened on camera, which of course is why the media covered it, because it's not actually weird to have a mass shooting, which is 4 people or more. That's including the killer himself. Apparently 1 a day in America, mass shooting. And whenever we have a shooting, it seems like each side goes to their corner.
There you go. So Bill Maher is using this.
I can't believe the amount of bad information that just gets spewed.
It's horrible
to the general public like this as fact.
Crowdsourcing on a wiki. There you go. That's good. Now, I'll wrap up my segment with the boyfriend, Chris Hurst. Now, this guy, this guy is the crazy. I'm sorry. I've dealt with crazy. I look in his eyes. The guy is crazy. He's very, very weird, and he comes on with Chris Cuomo, and Chris is like, oh, man, you're going to be okay. And he's still holding on to his scrapbook where he tracks the month-iversaries, which I got a lot of feedback on that. Month-iversaries? Who keeps track of the month-iversaries?
What kind of feedback did you get?
That's the feedback. Be like, this bull crap. Month-iversary? No. And so he's holding on to his scrapbook.
I sure don't remember.
And I'm really sorry if this is all true and their secret love really was true and they secretly were going to move in or whatever. I'm sorry, but I just have to point out the crazy in the room.
You have to deal with the fact that you can't remember her the way she was taken. I know it happened on TV. I know the images are out there.
And I haven't, until I was here today, had not seen any images from his video, and had not seen actual video of our air check of what happened.
Interesting he says that, air check. So he went to the tape ops, then said, hey, can I see the air check? Instead of, I don't know, YouTube? Okay. He hadn't seen the air check. Good.
I'd rather see the air check than YouTube.
All right.
And I can understand fully that he has tried to create a narrative that is one that I hope everybody quickly forgets.
Now, this is interesting. Quickly forget. Please quickly forget that this guy was the shooter. Said that he and or Allison or one or the other had used racial slurs against him and maybe even homophobic slurs. And I have a theory about that. Said, please quickly forget that. I mean, this is.
I thought that was referring to when he said that quickly. I thought he was referring to the other things that guy had promoted, which was to start a race war.
No, there were accusations specifically against Allison and him, I believe, that were racial. And this guy is here saying quickly forget that. This is
I think it was saying quickly forget the idea of starting a race war.
Well, let's listen again.
That is one that I hope everybody
let me go back a little further.
Create a narrative that is one that...
No, I'll go back a little further. I don't think he says that.
That is one...
I think that's what he's referring to, because I don't even know what you're talking about when you talk about the other stuff.
The guy was kicked out of the station.
No, I know that, but the narrative I think that he was trying to start seems to me to be this race war.
No.
That would be the narrative, yeah.
Okay, well, we can disagree.
Create a narrative. That is one that I hope everybody quickly forgets, because the manner in which he took Allison and Adam's life should not be the focus of this story. The focus of this story should be two amazing lights that were extinguished yesterday for no good reason. And I now join so many thousands of other Americans who cannot explain why their loved ones were taken from them. And when you ask me how I'm doing, I can't explain why either.
If you ask me how I'm doing, I can't explain why either. Does he mean he can't explain why he's not devastated and breaking down on the camera? Is that what he can't explain?
Well, that's what it would seem.
Now, just for the chat room, but I am not saying that this is a hoax or a false flag, so shut the F up already. We're just pointing things out. How could you think that a woman who was killed can't have a father who's an actor? I didn't say that, you douche knuckles. But I will make the following prediction. This was
this right here? I would have said at least retort would be, well, don't you think at some point in this entire kind of presentation of what happened in the news reporting that some would mention maybe that he was an actor?
No.
For 15 years, a veteran Broadway actor?
No, they don't do that. Only we do that.
Never mentioned.
No. Now, here, I'm going to tell you what I think happened. Oh, and by the way, one other thing, an annoyance to me. When you're doing a live shot, it was live on TV. Why did the photographer's camera, not have a wire attached to it to the news van? But I didn't see a transmitter on the back of it. I could be wrong. It's hard to see. I did not see a wire. I did not see a transmitter. Typically, these things are wired because a location shoot.
Well, if it's a live shot, yeah,
it would be wired. And where are the news van guys? Where were they? This was a remote. So where's the wire? Okay, I'm not going to dwell on it.
See, this seems to me that what you just pointed out, there would be a news van if it was live because they got to get to the satellite and shoot it up, right?
Yeah, of course. Microwave, not a satellite.
Well, I've seen the ones where they shoot it up.
Well,
but it's beside the point.
Yeah.
There should be a van for that. If it was live, like everybody was going on and on about that, means they went out in a van. They had to go out in a van because everyone's kept excoriating us, saying all you have to do is lay in wait and then follow the van.
Well, people say it's a wireless transmitter. I know what they look like on cameras. I did not see one. What about
following the van if there was no van, unless those two are the ones driving the van?
That's possible.
Cameraman's driving the van. She's in the seat next to him.
But still, I did not see an antenna for a transmitter. I did not see a wire. But I may not have seen it well. That doesn't matter. I'm going to tell you what I think happened. I'm going to tell you what happened here.
Okay.
Chris, the boyfriend, it was a gay lover spat with the shooter. And for whatever reason, he was pissed off. Maybe the guy's bi, he flipped, and then he goes off with this girl. This was a gay lover spat between these two. This Chris, is not telling the truth. That's what happened.
Well, that's a simple explanation, and is it plausible?
Occam's razor, my friend.
Yeah,
look at the guy.
The simplest thing.
Listen to this guy. He sounds gay. He looks gay.
He does sound gay.
He looks shady and shifty. He's not telling the truth. You can tell. And then when he says things like, "Well, why my reaction this way?" I don't know. Yeah, you do. Yes, you do. You might as well just say it. End it, so we can end all the hoax talk and all the crisis actors. Just say this was a lover spat between you and the other guy. That seems the easiest, most plausible explanation.
Well, I'll tell you this. Let me say this to everyone listening to this thing, because Adam promised that he was going to come up with something that's a little different. You will never hear anything like this on any other podcast or broadcast, probably sometimes for good reason. But I think that's, again, Occam's razor. You're dead on that.
The only thing we're doing wrong.
And I agree with you. This guy seems shady.
But
He's not telling us
what
something.
we're doing wrong is we're not using the right pronouns. So Z and Z were in a loving relationship, and then Z,
because of a she,
he flipped to Xi, and then he and Xi were all pissed off at each other. Then he shot him up. That's how it works.
It does happen.
That
does happen.
That does happen.
I'm going to show my support by donating to No Agenda. Imagine all the people who could do that. Oh yeah, that'd be fab. Yeah, on No Agenda in the morning.
All right. We do have a few people to thank for show 752 as we move on to 753.
Right.
Starting with, let's see, we got Jeremy Goldsworthy, who sent in a check of $151 from Midland. And he sent a card, which has got a dog head on it, which is actually very artsy for some reason. Here you'll find $100 to save you from being a dancing monkey. Also, $51 for Adam. So you just comboed it up. He wants any Trump as a thing. We'll play some Trump and karma for you at the end of the segment.
Yeah, we will.
And Alan Chow in Midland, Michigan, $151. Oh, I'm sorry, 120. I'm sorry, that's the other guy. 123.51.
Mm-hmm.
Daniel Woodleaf, 12345. One of my favorites in Pittsboro, North Carolina. John Owen, 8433 from Parts Unknown. Got Nate, or he wants to be called the future Sir Got Nate. 6969 in Draper, Utah.
Mm-hmm.
Raleigh Hawk in Anna, Illinois, and that is
that's a dyslexic Mile High Club donation of $58.20 instead of $52.80. Very funny.
Oh yes, exactly.
Yeah, and he should be on the list.
Yes, we will put you on the list.
How's the website doing?
We have to populate it.
Okay. We need to populate the content.
We need to do an update.
Populate the content.
Populate the content. Kyle Rogers in Las Wages, Nevada, 5510. Jeremy Toth in Grand Rapids, Michigan, 5280. These following are 5280. These are the Mile High Club joiners. Even though we're not promoting it again until we get to show 767, which is the next jet.
Right.
Ulrich Schleuter in Schriesheim, Deutschland.
Schriesheim. Ulrich Schleuter in Schriesheim, Deutschland.
Bhaskar Dandona in Birmingham, GB, Great Britain. Alexander Takacs in Geneva, Switzerland.
Listener since 2008 and modest producer. Time to get high. That's right, Mile High.
Jonas Astrom, Parts Unknown in Sweden, it looks like.
Mm-hmm.
Ignacio Garcia Perez in Barcelona.
Cool. Vizcaya.
No, he's not. Is he in Barcelona? No,
he's not. Baracaldo. Vizcaya. And he wants some job karma. We'll put that at the end, of course, for everybody.
Yeah. This is our buddy in Spain who wants to be in the Mile High Club for good reason. Kristen Damier. Occam's Razor, Fort Wayne, Indiana. Jennifer.
Wait. Douchebag call out.
Oh, a douchebag call out. Read it for me.
I'd like to call out
my brother, Tom.
Dammeier.
And my brother, he's got two douchebag call outs.
Oh, man. Okay. So wait. Tom Dammeier.
Douchebag.
And my brother-in-law, Andrew Strasser, as douchebags.
Douchebag.
They were two Frozen fanboys when they saw Adam walking down the street in Chicago, didn't say ITM, but tweeted him instead, inviting him down to Rush Street. I was nearby, actually. They both have listened for a while and hit me in the mouth about a month ago, and yet I am still the first to donate. Keep up the good work, guys. Yes.
Huh.
And you should say, hey, Curry!
Yeah.
It's my favorite.
Go, Curry!
Yeah, go podcasting!
Go. Exactly. Okay, Jennifer Chokolakalak in Calgary, 5280. Aaron Kramer in Sewickley, Pennsylvania, is also in the Mile High Club, and that ends that little group. Dame Astrid, the Duchess of Japan, and she's written us 5193.
Do you have the note?
Happy birthday, Adam. Wishing you a happy travels on the Airstream. Meeting many amazing people on the way. Trust, tell me, though, some characters I can't read. I hope it's tall enough for you. Oh, yes. Is the inside tall enough for you?
It is. It is.
You bump your head?
It's about 6'7", so I do not bump my head.
You can actually stand up?
I can stand up in the shower.
Really?
By the way, and I said by the way.
You did.
But yeah, we have a problem. The shower unit has a crack in it right near the entrance where you get into the shower. And so that's probably it's under warranty, but it has to be replaced, which God knows how long it's going to take. Because, the water gets in that crack and then, the thing will rot away.
Oh, yeah, you have to bring it in.
It's in. I brought it in.
What did they say?
They said, that's not good. No.
Well, at least they're going to fix it, hopefully.
It's pretty cool. It's almost like...
By the way, you know what fixing an Airstream consists of? The Airstream fixing kit?
No.
A thing of caulk.
A tube. A caulking gun.
A tube of caulk.
Caulk. Caulk. Caulk.
Yes.
It's a very disturbing word to me.
Yeah, well,
like flesh.
Caulk. You're going to see a lot of caulk
like
oozing out.
Oh, by the way, again, I said it.
You're saying by the way.
I know. What can I say? So there are words we've talked about food problems, where people have problems with texture of food and food touching each other. People have trouble with words like caulk, flesh, and moist.
Moist.
People have problems with the word moist. How strange is that?
Moist is supposed to be one of the most, one of the highest on the list of words that people just kind of cringe when they hear it or say it.
Why?
Moist.
Why?
I don't know.
I like moist.
Moist.
Sounds good. How about moist flesh?
How about naming your kid Moist? Hey, Moist. Hey, Moist, come here.
Moist flesh.
Moist flesh. What's your name? Is it okay? What's your pronoun?
Z.
Shauna Nash in Keene, New Hampshire is also a member, 5193. Happy birthday, Adam.
Thank you.
Justin Bloom, 5193 from Madison, Alabama. Where's this 5193 coming from?
I don't know. Oh, 9/3, September 3rd.
Oh, they made their own.
They made their own decisions.
Yes, they made their own decisions. Okay. Dame Beth, the Baronetess of Baja or someplace. She's in Tucson, Arizona, 5150. Richard Bauer Sox, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, 51. Now, the rest of these are all happy birthday call-outs, which we're going to do for two more shows because his birthday's actually on the 3rd.
On Thursday.
So
one more show.
No, one more. No, it's the 3rd is Monday, isn't it? The next Monday?
Yeah, I think the 3rd is on Thursday.
Open the calendar while I read these.
I know. I was thinking, well, that's really nice. You want to celebrate my birthday for 2 shows. I appreciate that.
Well, got to do something. Richard,
because let's face it, I ain't getting no presents.
You gave yourself the greatest present in the world.
I did.
A Airstream.
That's right. With a crack.
Caulk.
Moist, fleshy caulk.
Moist. Hey, Moist!
Fleshy caulk.
Richard Bauer Sox. I think I'm going to say his name a million times. Brandon Fenton in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Nicholas Principe.
I think it's Sir Nicholas. I think it's Sir Nicholas Principe, I think.
It could be. Yeah. Sir Nicholas. In Fuquay-Varna, North Carolina, which I really don't believe is a town such as that name.
Because it's Varina, not Varna. Fuquay-Varina.
Oh, Varina. I still don't believe it.
Okay.
Thomas Fuquay. I mean, come on. Thomas McCormick III in Richmondville, New York. John Albertine, as in like Libertine, in Annapolis, Maryland. By the way, have you ever been to Annapolis?
I have.
Beautiful town.
It's pretty. With the beltway around it and everything. It's very pretty.
It is one of the anyone who wants to move to Maryland, move there.
Yeah, make sure
dynamite
for your CIA job.
It's just gorgeous.
It's where the upper spooks live.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, well, you probably, I wouldn't go there then. No. Move to California. David Lee Williams.
Move to Austin.
Virginia. Upper class spooks. Harley Herod, Big Fork, Montana. Probably none there, that's for sure. Carlos, what is this?
Pacina
in Harvard, Illinois. Huh. Michael Cully in Grove City, Pennsylvania. Nuts. Douglas Chick. Hey, Doug Chick in Gatineau, Quebec.
Doug Chick
in Gatineau, Quebec. That is me.
Doug Chick at your service, man.
Eric Knoll in McDonough, Georgia. Roland Ruth in Streamwood, Illinois. James Thurman in San Antonio, Texas, just up the street from you. Mark Neiman in Renton, Washington. Timothy Tim Brashears.
Yeah, that's not. You're thinking of Chris
Brashears. Yeah, and he doesn't live in Cookeville, Tennessee, but Tim does.
No, it's the Poopcast man, Chris Brashears.
Poopcast?
Have you never heard the Poopcast?
I don't remember it.
Oh, my God.
Anonymous in Derbyshire, UK. And that concludes all the birthday wishes. No women.
Thank you, everybody. No women?
Well, Shauna and Dame Astrid. But they weren't in the normal list of 51s. I don't think there's any women. They don't like you. And now we have some $50 donors. And not too many. We got 3. And we got Sir Mark Tanner, who's always tried and true, always comes in Whittier. Jason Fortune, I think it's Sir Jason by now, in Geneva, Illinois. And finally, Ben Dural in Malta, New York. And that concludes our list of well-wishers and contributors and helpers and producers for show 752, reminding you that we do have another show coming up on Thursday, 7:53.
Yeah. And we appreciate the fact that you support the program, so we don't have to shill for MailChimp and Squarespace, because that's just annoying after a while. Although we do use MailChimp and run on Squarespace, but we pay for the privilege of that. Please continue to support us for our Thursday show, which will be my birthday.
Dvorak.org/NA.
A really short one today. It's that simple. Herbert Harms turns 30 tomorrow on August 31st. We say happy birthday to him on behalf of all the staff and managers here at the best podcast in the universe. And then one nighting. This is for Graham Dunlop. So, wait, before we do that, let's do the little jobs karma that everybody asked for. That's
jobs, and jobs. Let's vote for jobs. You've got karma.
All right, here's mine. Grab your blade.
Here we go.
Ooh, you've got the short blade today. Graham Dunlop, thank you very much, sir. And I do hope I'll be seeing you in Calgary up there in Scandinavia. As you have supported the best podcast in the universe on behalf of the second best podcast in the universe, I presume. And therefore, we welcome you to the round table of the Knights and the Dames. We say, welcome, Sir Gray of Grimerica. For you, my friend, we have DMT and Astral Trave, Black Hose and MD 2020, Cuban cigars and single malt scotch, cheap wine and chili dogs, Drams and DMT, Hookers and Molly, Rent Boys Chardonnay, Hookers and Blow, and, of course, we have the Mutton and Mead ready for you. Go on over to noagendanation.com/rings, and we will get that out to you, size it properly, because it's a big show. And thank you very much. Thank you, everybody. Also, those below $50, we do that for the reasons of anonymity. Even I got a birthday note saying, hey, man, you know, I made it 50 because I, for whatever reason, don't want it to be known. It's like, okay, it's like a secret admirer. It's appreciated. Thank you very much. Oh, yes. Okay. Here's something. I worked hard on this.
You have a bit? You got a package?
I got a bit. Yeah, I got a package. Woo! Z has a package for you. Yeah. I was looking at, we've been discussing this for a while, the migrant situation in Europe.
Good. I have a clip too.
Okay. Well, should I just do my whole thing and then you'll see if it's worth it?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the main problem with what is happening in Europe is mainly from Syria and Libya. People are getting in rusty-ass boats, dinghies, rubber inner tubes, whatever they can do. They're floating over. Many of them are dying, and they're entering the Mediterranean. They're entering Europe through the Mediterranean. They're coming in through Italy. They're coming in through Greece. They're going through Hungary. They're going through they all want to get to Germany or the United Kingdom. And we had quite a travesty take place in Vienna, And this was, and I'll just tell you that all these bits I'm playing are all about Syrians, mainly.
Yeah.
These are Syrians who are...
Okay, I've noticed the same trend, and Austria seems to be a player.
Austria is a player, and there's a big reason for it.
A grisly discovery on the side of an Austrian highway Thursday, a refrigerator truck with up to 50 dead migrants. The cause of death unknown. Austrian police now searching for the driver, a difficult task as the truck appears to have been abandoned for at least 12 hours.
The truck is being examined at a refrigerated facility where the loading bay will be opened up, and then we can establish how many bodies are inside. This is work that will last until tomorrow morning.
The truck came from Hungary, where camps like this contain thousands of migrants streaming into the European Union. The tragedy proving that once in Europe, migrants aren't out of danger. Their desperation leads them to take risky routes, paying dangerous smugglers who've shown complete disregard for human life. EU and Western Balkan leaders are meeting in Vienna to discuss the migrant
coincidence? I think not.
Crisis. The EU pledged 1.5 million euros to help Macedonia and Serbia, who are pressing the EU to come up with a plan to prevent migrants from illegally entering their countries. Neither side able to agree exactly how to move forward.
There is no magic solution. There is no magic event that can solve issues from one day to the other.
This is Federica Mogherini. She is Italian. She is the high priestess of, or the high representative, I should say, the high priestess of foreign affairs for the European Union. She's from the Matteo Renzi government, and she replaced No Chin Monster, the other high priestess. So then she's a very interesting person.
Magic event that can solve issues from one day to the other, but the road we can follow to start making things work is very well known.
But while European leaders debate how best to deal with the crisis, the migrants continue to risk their lives in the hundreds of thousands.
Okay, a couple things. So we have this truck, which comes from Hungary and then shows up with 72 dead migrants. Note the word migrant, not refugees. These are refugees, and I really need to point this out. He died for Libya. The total destruction, though, of Syria, this is more about Syrian refugees. This was started by the coalition, the United States, the United Kingdom, the French, and now the French and the Brits are saying, we don't want no migrants. No, these are refugees. And by the way, where's Angelina Jolie in all this? Where is she for these refugees? No, because they're not refugees, they're migrants. And by coincidence, this truck shows up on the side of the road. What?
You may have. We've been talking about this for a while.
No, don't blow it. Don't blow it. Please don't blow it.
Oh, okay.
Don't blow it, please, because I got more clips to go through to get to it. But you're on the right track.
Yeah. Okay.
So then we have this meeting in Vienna, which is Austria, where the truck is found at the same time. Oh, what are we going to do about the migrants? So they're solidifying this as a migrant issue, not as a humanitarian disaster of epic proportion.
Started by the coalition, who desperately want Assad out. This is, we've been trying to find ways to get him out. And then we have Martin Schulz, the commie in the EU.
The head of the European Parliament has launched a scathing attack on some European countries he accuses of failing to take in refugees. It came as nearly 700 migrants and refugees arrived in Sicily after being rescued from boats in the Mediterranean, along with the bodies of 2 who died. Martin Schulz says amid the European blame game, the Med is being turned into a mass grave, while gruesome scenes are being played out at borders. In the former Yugoslav Republic of Macedonia, hundreds again boarded trains aiming for northern destinations.
Now, you have to listen to this guy talking. This is just one of the many, and you'll hear more in the second clip here. These people coming from Syria, they're not like some sand bunny morons. These are well-educated people. They speak better English than many citizens of the United States of Gitmo Nation or of Gitmo Nation East in the UK. They are well educated. They are smart. They are in danger of being killed by drones and and ISIS, all coalition created crap. And please, how much Arabic do you speak? No, zero. These people speak English.
Destinations.
Maybe Norway, maybe Germany, maybe it means we don't know. We are from Syria, coming for a problem. We have a lot of problem. I'm from Dirik, it's near city. We have a lot of problem. You know what happened in Syria.
Some 3,500 take the train every day. 3 people have been arrested in Libya, suspected of helping launch a boat packed with migrants.
Now, pay attention to this, because what is the problem? The problem is not that we have completely rubblized Syria. No, the problem is you have these horrible gangs. Yes, these gangs who are human trafficking. These are the a-holes.
Sank, killing up to 200 people. The EU's border control agency Frontex has held a rescue drill off the Libyan coast.
We have seen children 10 years old traveling alone. No parents, no father or mother, just alone. That's tough to see.
The head of the European Parliament says the failure to agree on binding quotas for the distribution of refugees is not the EU's fault, but that of governments, he says, are blocking a solution.
Okay, so what is clear is that the European Union was completely unprepared for what is happening. You'll get some numbers in a moment, how many refugees are showing up in the EU. Completely unprepared. They have no border. There's no European army just yet. There is no way to police all of this. They're being taken by surprise. They don't want all these people flooding into their cities. They want to stop, but they have their hands in the hair. And the Prime Minister of Italy, Matteo Renzi, is pissed off because they have been taking the brunt of it there in Lampedusa.
This is Milan Central Station in northern Italy, which at this time of year in early summer is normally crammed with backpackers and tourists exploring around Europe. This year, though, it's a rather different situation. There's lots of migrants here from Somalia, Eritrea, Syria and other places, all of whom have come off the people smuggling boats that have been going across the Mediterranean. In the last 6 months alone, around 50,000 migrants have arrived in Italy from people smuggling boats on the Mediterranean. While most of the ones here say they want to head to Germany or Scandinavia, some may try to head towards Calais and then get on a lorry on a ferry towards England.
I left Iraq because the situation there...
Now listen to this guy. He's from Iraq, and he went through Syria. And this is, again, Iraq. You know, Iraq, they had some of the best doctors, scientists, professors, academics, very, very intelligent people. This guy speaks fluent English. And listen to the crap that he went through as a refugee, not a migrant, a refugee. It's appalling.
The situation there in Iraq, especially in Baghdad, you know, the situation gets worse and worse. The first boat we went in, they put us in a fridge. The fridge is take like 10 people, they put like 25 people there, the single guy, the family in the top, and it was smell bad, the smell like fish, and the people throw up on each other. It was dark, nobody can see, you just feel like the guy he throw up on you. You know, it was a bad situation. It's like hell there, okay? So we need help. We really need the European people help us.
So they're in a freezer with dead fish. It's dark and people are puking on each other, just throwing up all over. You can't see, oh, what's that? That was my neighbor, just puked on my face. Yeah, Angelina Jolie, you turd.
This is
Germany. Now, we know Germany is friends with the Russians, friends with Iran, friends with Syria. They really are. How many people do you think are showing up in Berlin, John?
I don't know. Tell me.
This is the main reception center in Berlin where people come to seek asylum and register with the authorities here. So you can see some families, the queue stretching right back in that direction. And then if you come round here, you'll get a sense of how many people are coming to this reception center. The queue snakes around here. These are new applicants. The authorities here say around about 400 people are arriving as new applicants every day. They haven't got the staff, they say, to cope at the moment. More people over in that direction at the front of the queue. They'll actually try and start the process of asylum. But Germany is receiving, they think, 800,000 people applying for asylum in this year alone. That's 1% of Germany's population. Mainly people here from the Middle East, a lot of people from Syria, because Germany has now said that all Syrians can now apply and get asylum in Germany, but a lot of people from North Africa as well. Germany is taking more migrants than any other country in the EU this year. A lot of families and women here too. There has been an increase in the number of attacks on migrants in Germany as a whole, but still a relatively isolated small number of incidents. And generally speaking, the effort that you can see all around here helping the migrants has been replicated across Germany.
So we're over 800,000 people expected in Germany alone. Now, they did this quota, and the UK's quota was 330,000 migrants, not refugees, but migrants would be their quota as part of the EU. Theresa May, the foreign secretary, says, not going to do that. They're talking about an extra 63 just for this year alone. We don't want any of that. We've got to get these a-holes out of the way, even though the UK is directly responsible for the rubblization of Syria, which is bringing these people in puking freezers to the shores of the EU.
The Home Secretary was in Calais to agree more security measures with the French.
Now, this is the channel where it is so out of control. There's nothing worth playing as a clip, but when you look around, there are thousands of people, and the minute a truck come by, they're jumping on, they're doing anything they can to get through the channel to get to the UK. The cops are spraying pepper spray. They're trying to beat him with batons. It's out of control.
More policing, more British funded CCTV, fencing and infrared detection equipment, and a new joint force to tackle organised people smugglers.
Joint force.
We must relentlessly pursue and disrupt the callous criminal gangs that facilitate and profit from the smuggling of vulnerable people, often with total disregard for their lives.
Okay, so let's review, and then I'll turn it over to you, Mr. Dvorak. We have Federica Mogherini, who says, we all know, if we follow the road back, we all know what the problem is. We have Theresa May, and all these politicians are doing it, who are chicken shit. They sit there and they have the gall to say that this is because of human traffickers, smugglers who are doing these horrible things to these people. No, that's not the end of the ball of yarn, my friends. The end of the ball of yarn is us rubbleizing Syria, and you can count on it. In the next week, we will be using this humanitarian crisis, which I think was set up purposely. I think certainly the United States has something to do with it. I really believe that. We're the ones that have all the boots on the ground there with ISIS, and we're funding these guys and giving these guys everybody weapons and money and whatever you need. We are going to use this to stop this humanitarian crisis. We will have to take out Assad. That is what's going on here. And it's a brilliant scheme, because if you really we can't keep the Mexicans out from the border. You can't stop this type of migration.
So you see this as Plan C.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm not going to argue with the theory.
And Ban Ki-moon is
a good one if you think about it, because they have been working this, and now they created a ridiculous humanitarian crisis, redefined words so they don't have to worry about people, the refugee oriented do-gooders, Angelina Jolie,
right? We don't want anyone like that coming along. We want warmongers. Warmongers we want.
Yeah, so we'll change it to immigrant.
Yep.
So there's no refugees. There's none.
No, it's not a refugee. It's a migrant. They just want to come into our country illegally.
Yeah, and the meme is already there because we've already set up the meme here in the United States.
Exactly.
With the illegal immigrant, and then no, you can't call them that.
And it's a beautiful setup, and I truly believe we're behind it. And maybe the UK as well, but we're behind it. No union, no country, no continent is prepared to stop this. You can't just, what are you going to do? Well, they're going to build fences and walls. Gee, where have I heard that before? No one calling out Theresa May as a fascist nationalist a-hole, which she is. I'm so sick of these people. They create this and they don't have the guts to say, well, you know, we're rubblizing the place, so we got to take care of these people. Oh, I'm sorry, we didn't think about that. We only thought about the strategic play for pipelines and oil and the hookers and other stuff. We didn't think about the people, and we don't care about them. You're heartless a-holes. Heartless.
Well, that's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
Okay, well, so I'm watching this too, and then Richard Engel, our buddy from NBC.
The liar.
Who does a lot of misreporting and probably makes up stories, and he just hasn't been completely busted by it.
Liar. He's an award-winning liar.
But so he's got his report on the Exodus, and he concentrated on one.
Oh, nice, John. Exodus. Thank you. Good word. Exodus. It's an Exodus, a true biblical Exodus.
Yeah, so he's reporting on from the perspective of one kid that he isolated going into Austria. Mm-hmm. And there was a lot of other Austrian stuff, and I was very impressed with the reporting around what the Austrians are doing, because apparently this heartless a-hole, asshole kind of attitude toward these guys on the parts of the government is one thing, but the public in Austria, for example, they showed some woman with her friends, and they formed an ad hoc group to just collect all their clothes that they have in the closets of all their friends in the neighborhood.
Right.
Because I don't care who you are, if you're just a normal middle-class person, you have clothes in your closet.
Yeah, and these people have puke on their clothes. Dried up, caked up, orange, chunky puke.
You know, putting them in the station wagons, they're putting the clothes, and they're finding these people wandering around, and they're just getting them dressed. They're dressing them. And the women who were reporting on this say were so disgusted with the way these people are being treated, but the Austrians apparently have been very nice just to specifically the Syrians, according to the Syrians. But so here we have Richard Engel, and this is pretty much, he dramatizes everything, and this is everything you were talking about, only is put in a package, and it's presented to the American public to try to get some understanding, even though there's really none to be had.
Unfolding on the borders of Europe, thousands of migrants and refugees desperately trying to escape war and poverty in search of a better life. Our chief foreign correspondent, Richard Engel, is on the Hungary-Serbia border tonight, where thousands of refugees try to cross daily.
Syrian refugees are on the march across Europe. We joined them today in Serbia, where we met Abdurrahman, 16 years old. Like most here, he's heading north to seek asylum. Abdurrahman has been traveling for 2 weeks already through 5 countries. The next stop is Hungary. Then he and everyone else here will be in the European Union, and they hope safe. I'm optimistic. I hope to get there, and no one will stop us, he says. Just one more country to go.
The biggest migration of refugees since World War II is underway. A new trail of tears from the war zones in the Middle East.
Whoa, hold on a second. Woo, 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 woo. Big meme. Trail of Tears.
Yeah, no, this guy's the best at this.
What was that from again, the Trail of Tears?
That's some other...
Yeah, it's shitty. It's a shitty thing.
Bad scene.
The Cherokee Trail of Tears resulted from the enforcement of the Treaty of New Ashoda, an agreement signed. This is the Indians, Native Americans. Yeah, I'm sorry. Trail of Tears. Wow, nice one, Engel.
War zones in the Middle East to Western Europe, if they can make it.
For Abdurrahman, the day began across from a park in Belgrade, packed with fellow Syrians. Then, one bus after another, battling other Syrians to get on.
Please, standing in line.
Determined, Abdurrahman always managed to find a seat. It's a huge responsibility. I'm my family's only hope, he says.
Notice that Engel does not get the English speakers. Just as an aside.
No, Engel, he generally doesn't because he speaks he's a polyglot. He has a number of
that's
very
sexy.
high command. That's why he's got these jobs. He's
a polyglot, so we have to address him as Z?
Z.
His home in Aleppo was destroyed in the war. He hasn't been to school in 4 years and plans to settle in Germany and then bring his family. But he's spent nearly all their savings already and doesn't have much left. I walked 30 miles or more one day, he says, so I wouldn't have to pay $30 for a taxi. But he says he has to make it. one of thousands of teenagers and children traveling in difficult conditions for an uncertain future. This is a mass exodus, leaderless and spontaneous, as Syrians appear to have decided collectively there's no hope back home and to hit the road. Richard Engel, NBC News, along the Serbian border.
Closer to home tonight, Erica has weakened into a tropical low pressure.
Okay. Well, that was actually a very nice compliment to my package, as this is the programming meant for the citizens of the United States of Gitmo Nation, where we're all going to collectively agree with the idea that Assad must be taken out to stop this humanitarian crisis.
I like the theory. We'll see how it plays out.
Well, that's
you got to do something. I mean, they can't. This is going to have to stop.
It's going to happen this week, this coming week. I'm from the future.
I thought Hillary was. Oh, by the way, I'm supposed to give you a bad time now since the deadline's over.
Yeah. You can mock me.
Hillary did not quit.
Not yet.
Now, I was listening to this is another report. This is kind of a long clip, but it kind of fits in a little bit because this is not covered by anybody. And it still brings up a lot of questions on my mind. But while everybody's covering what you just packaged up and some of the other normal things, Democracy Now!, of course, has their agenda, which tends to be toward left-wing politics. Mm-hmm. And so there's the Guatemala report, which none of the big three and the three networks that watch
3 by 3, 3 by 3, 3 by 3,
3 by 3. Nothing about this whatsoever. Guatemala.
Resolution.
A general strike has been called in Guatemala for today. Well, for more, we're joined by Alan Nairn, longtime journalist who's covered Guatemala since the 1980s. Alan, welcome back to Democracy Now! Can you talk about what is engulfing Guatemala today, the significance of what's happening to the president, the general strike that's called for today?
Well, it's an uprising, and it could lead to the fall of Pérez Molina. They're calling for a general strike, mass demonstration today.
Regime
change. The issue is corruption. But if the movement develops further, if it spreads more fully to the Mayan heartland of the country, then the issue could move from corruption to justice. Because the reason the Guatemalan elite, like General Pérez Molina and Vice President Baldetti, have been able to loot the treasury to the tune of more than $100 million, been able to steal for themselves cash which was used for Jaguar cars, plantations, villas, yachts, airplanes, helicopters, was because they took and have maintained themselves in power through mass murder. Pérez Molina was a commander in the Northwest Highlands during the 80s. He personally helped implement the Rios Montt program of mass murder, effectively genocide, against the Mayan population. And that's what the Guatemalan system has been built on. So if this uprising spreads, if it becomes an even broader, deeper movement, and you move from the question of corruption to the question of justice for mass murder, that can only be resolved by implicating not just Pérez Molina personally, but also the Guatemalan army as a whole institution, also the U.S. government, which is armed, trained, and financed that army, backed that program of slaughter, which the American CIA had Pérez Molina on the payroll when he was head of GEDOS, the intelligence unit. And it also can't be resolved without implicating CACIF, the Association of the Oligarchy, which backed the army during the slaughter, and which individually ran its own death squads. The oligarchs, the young men, would go through what was kind of a ritual of bloodying their own hands, and if there was a union organizing drive at their father's factory, some of the boys would get together and they'd go out and kill the unionists. And those young men who did that in the 80s are now in their 50s and 60s. And they're the leaders of the Guatemalan oligarchy. So the last thing they want to see is a true investigation and bringing to justice of perpetrators. That's the last thing Washington wants to see. And the situation is basically out of control right now.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Well, this isn't getting reported.
Why bother? Crazy.
Now, there's a couple of things. This guy went on forever. This guy's a real chatterbox. I mean, he went on for 10, 15 minutes.
Chatty Cathy.
Chatty Cathy. So he brings up all this stuff, and they all trace it back to some CIA thing that took place in 1953.
Gee, fancy that.
And as I listened to this, I realized that one of the problems with the situation in Guatemala and some other South American stories, Ecuador would be another one that'd be similar, is there's no context. So as these two talk, both Amy and this guy, they go back and forth and back and forth. Oh, the CIA's evil because they did this and that, and they supported this guy, and the Washington armed these soldiers that are a bunch of butchers. And the question that never gets asked is why? Who gives a crap about Guatemala one way or the other that they would be all in on this?
Well, resources.
But what?
Turf, hookers.
It's all minor. I mean, even though the thing that really got me is that little mention at the beginning. Oh, if this whole group of oligarchs have ravaged the country and stolen $100 million. That is such small potato. $100 million.
Nothing.
That's 2 years of Bill Clinton's speeches.
Yeah,
do a callback on
Good point. Yeah, nice one.
And so it's like, it just seems, this whole thing doesn't make any sense to me. We must have somebody with this guy, with expertise. What is the deal here with this? And Guatemala has been nothing but trouble. But why? I mean, it's just the whole thing. It's just baffling. There's no context. There's no context for any of this. So
has there been a new oil strike or something?
I haven't seen any evidence of any of that stuff, and we're still dealing with $100 million of over years and years and years of stealing from the people. It's like, do a startup,
do a Kickstarter.
I mean, the whole thing is just the context is missing, and so nobody gets worked up. I think the mainstream media, the 3x3, I don't think they're covering, because I think that when they're in the newsroom, they're going, "What's going on?
Yeah, what's up with that?"
I don't know. I can't explain it. Well, we have to explain it, or we can't tell the story.
I have a story from July 7th, 2015. Early on June 6th, communities along the once tranquil La Pasión River in northern Guatemala awoke to find tens of thousands of dead fish floating on the surface. No, that's not it. Palm oil production? No. I don't know. But, one of our producers knows. We have people living in Guatemala, I believe.
Maybe.
I think so.
I like context.
Yes. Please give us some of that.
Otherwise, it's just like, okay, crazy.
Good report, John. Good report. But shall I wind it up with just one little funny one for you here?
Yes, I love that.
Okay, this is. You're going to be very happy with this. Very, very happy about your friend and his TV show. Your friend and his TV show. Do you know who your friend is?
I don't know who my friend is yet.
You also get an opportunity to do what we do every morning, and that is we start the conversation for the day. We influence the news. We influence the newsmakers. They tell us that at the White House, on Capitol Hill. You get to do that now. You get to influence the Sunday morning shows, and you're exactly right. If I want to reach your audience, I got to be there at 8 o'clock on Sunday morning.
Well, many of the Washington influencers started emailing me saying, I've got to watch this. I told them my goal in life, I've had many goals. My goal in life is by the time my friend Chuck Todd comes on, he says, Sharpton had him say what?
And here we have it. It's a perfect tee up for Chuck Todd. And,
there you go.
So yeah, it's very exciting. Congratulations, and Chuck, you do have a strong lead in now. You've got a strong number 3 hitter for your cleanup.
But resist. We must, and we will much about that. Be committed.
Excellent.
These guys, if they're going to use baseball analogies, the number 3 hitter is not the cleanup hitter. That's the number 4 batter.
Good point. Well, there you go. Your boy Sharpton is...
He's an influencer.
He is. He's an influencer. And he's moving to 8 a.m. on Sunday morning. Woohoo!
Yeah, I guess that's the end of him.
Yep. All right. Well, thank you, Monsieur Dvorak.
And thank you, G.
G. Good hanging out. Good hanging out with you, G. My goodness. All right. Please remember us when you support us at Dvorak.org/NA. We will have another show on Thursday, my birthday. And I look forward to seeing what's next with the migrants. Hello, Angelina Jolie. Coming to you from the capital of the Drone Star State, downtown Austin, in the Crackpot Condo in the morning, everybody. I am Adam Curry.
And from northern Silicon Valley, where I'm wondering whether or not Ebonics is going to make a comeback. At the University of Tennessee, probably. I'm John C. Dvorak.
I'm Adam Curry. Z. Talk to you on Thursday right here on No Agenda. I got 99 glitches. It's just a glitch. And put a goatsy on there, will you?
How about a parasite baby? How about a bloodsucker baby? How about a vampire baby? How about a freeloader baby?
We need to kill them. We need to kill them. Bomb them. Bomb them. Bomb them. And bomb them again, eh? To kill them. We need to kill them. Bomb them, and bomb them again, eh? And bomb them again, eh? Bomb them, and bomb them again, eh? And bomb them again, eh? Bomb them, bomb them, and kill them. Bomb them, bomb them, and kill them. Bomb them again. Bomb them again. We need to kill them. Bomb them again. Bomb them again. We need to kill them and bomb them again.
No. 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 Hey.
Thanks, John.
And wash your hands after touching any raw meat.
I'm Joe Biden, and thank you for taking the time to listen.
Adios, mofo.
The best podcast in the universe. Dvorak.org/NA